Now we're live. We are 5 seconds into live currently.
So, Paul, how's life been?
Right.
Hi,
Tyler.
It's going on.
Hello.
Yeah,
Paul, how are you doing over there? I love this Brady Bunch setup, right?
pretty cool actually. I feel like I'm actually talking to you.
Only
I'm
thing,
looking
Paul,
at
you
What
need
up?
to keep your mouth. You need to keep your mouth on that mic.
I know it's a decent mic, but unfortunately, it's a very very directional because it's cool though because it's on a little.
You've got a nice, like me. You got a nice wavy boom thing. This Yeti, it's over. It's too heavy. Too heavy. It's a nice midnight
mine is
blue,
too.
but it's too freaking heavy, dude. I don't want.
I can't.
No, like you're saying, it's kind of like you're in the room talking to us, Paul. It's kind of weird. I need to admit this though, but I actually have cardboard cutouts of all of you overlooking my bed right behind me. So it's like you are in the room.
Yeah, I've got you guys behind my desk just staring at me.
Yeah,
I
don't understand why there's a hole in the car.
So there was a very interesting development that just happened. I heard you, Kuhn, and it showed you were unmuted for half a second. That was so weird.
Yeah,
I heard that too.
That was weird. Well, here's to trying new things, guys. Welcome to Nerdentials, your weekly dose of the nerdy essentials covering film, TV, video games, and comic books. I'm your host, Joe Tweeton. And guys, joining me today is actually quite a round table of faces in this new. Thank you, Paul. Square, if you will. Keeping it real as always, guys. I'd like to just introduce the crew for tonight. It is going to be a spicy topic, if you will. Let's start down here with the regulars or regular tonight. We're missing the shout out to Matthew Johnson. He finally got a job during this pandemic. I'm kidding. That's no jab at him. Good for him. He's a little more busy right now. I know. Guys, down here in this corner is my good old buddy, my committed co-host, the Nick Thomas. Welcome, sir.
Well, thank you. And dude, I don't know how you know that, but yeah, regular like a Swiss clock, dude.
Very regular, pretty consistent. It's, hit and miss
you're
is
talking
more
about
with
show,
everyone
not
else.
pooping.
Oh, my bad. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. Second, I would say rather new / but also reoccurring now over in this corner is Kuhn Cannon, or rather Ryan Kuhn. Welcome, sir.
Me?
You, sir. Welcome.
Well, I guess I've been kind of irregular lately. I mean, really, not for the show. I'm talking back to
Well, reality is besides reality.
Disappointing.
Let's just say for content creation purposes, you're becoming more regular.
Yeah, and I also have some new stuff going on too.
Dude, we are gonna shout out a few of those things after these last two faces come to fruition. Yeah, the next beautiful person here is a recurring member from episode 100. We have the faux mohawk himself, the movie critic from Scary Good Games. Sorry, I go off the fly, Paul. Paul Roman.
So first off, multiple corrections to make. This is a real mohawk. This is not a faux mohawk. This is a real mohawk.
Dip your head to the side. Show them. Show the audience. There it is. It's real.
I did it myself. It's punk rock DIY. Also, Scary Good Movies.
God.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's right there in the description, guys. Just look in the corner there. It's right there. I don't know why that rolls off the tongue. There's no reason for it. That's never been your name.
SGG, I guess. Because I just SGM, SGG, Scary Good.
No,
I've been playing video games lately.
It's all me. So. It's just my mishapped brain. How However, Paul, we got one face tonight. We have a guest amidst us. We have a man by the name of Tyler, but he also does some new content creation and goes by the name The Grim Reviewer. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm into doing a lot of different D&D reviews and other fantasy kind of things. All kind of hobby shop stuff, really.
So,
love it, dude.
When you say fantasy,
Go ahead, Nick.
Does it involve leather and whips?
Not your fantasies, Nick.
That's my fantasy.
Wrong fantasy.
So sometimes. No,
Oh, okay.
not tonight.
Not tonight. All right. So, guys, there's a lot of voices here, and there's a really huge thing that came out that a lot of us had strong desires and feelings about talking about. So we decided to, so guys, today's going to be a special episode. We actually have decided that the topic at hand is going to be too big to handle to allow other topics to enter in. Am I right? Sorry about the innuendos. Anyway.
Finally.
There it is. I'm good. You knew I was going to edit this episode anyway, so you're like throwing that in there. All right. That being said, guys, everyone's been introduced. We're all here. Kitties are trying to rip up my green screen. Good Lord. Anyway, that being said, guys, I think without further ado, we should jump into Movie Matters. Welcome to Movie Matters, guys. It's my first time using a live transition. I'm pretty excited about that. More to come. But for tonight, guys, we are going to talk about an unprecedented form of film release. One in the vein that with this pandemic, a lot of people are saying may not have happened. And due to fandom outcry, petitions, and just the deep passion for this project, Warner Brothers finally relented at least enough to allow this to happen. So, guys, we are talking about the Snyder Cut of Justice League, coming in at a whopping 4 hours and 2 minutes exclusively to HBO Max. Would this have made a theatrical release in this form? We'll talk. Hold on. Would this have been good as a miniseries? Hold on. We'll talk. Guys, these are the things that we're about to convey and discuss and figure out. Guys, this has a lot of controversial points to be made, and it is something that was facilitated by fans, truly. And we'll even talk about like maybe whether or not we were shocked that Warner Brothers gave in to the fandom. I don't know. Again, the whole pandemic happening. This is a very unique, miraculous release for a lot of our minds, I think, and we're going to have that discussion. First off, Nicholas, I would love for you to tell me if you the synopsis for this film.
Zack Snyder's definitive director's cut of Justice League, determined to ensure Superman's ultimate sacrifice was not in vain. Bruce Wayne aligns forces with Diana Prince, with plans to recruit a team of metahumans to protect the world from an approaching threat of catastrophic proportions. Brought to you by our director, Zack Snyder, starring Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, and many others.
The whole crew, Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller's The Flash. We even have an appearance from Willem Dafoe.
Ray Fisher as Cyborg. Ray Fisher as Cyborg.
Yep,
yes. We're gonna talk about that guy. There's some things to talk about, but Jeremy Irons as Alfred. We got Amy Adams as Lois Lane. We've got Diane Lane as Martha Kent. You know, we've got everyone from the original release. J.K. Simmons as the Commissioner. Oh Lordy,
Yeah.
You know, everything that Nick just listed.
And Chuck Norris as the Anti-Life Equation.
Holy shit! I had not even thought about that yet. Thank you, Nick.
Who did the voice of Steppenwolf?
It was a person.
It
with
was
the
it was
name?
actually
It was a person.
It was motion
It was a
capture,
guy.
I think. Like I don't think
Well,
he just
here.
did voiceover. I think he did mocap for it too.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Steppenwolf, Kieran Hins. Oh, I've seen for the voice. Hold on, I should probably have IMDb pulled up for this.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I was gonna say, he's
Kieran
he's been
Hines.
in a lot of things.
a lot
Yeah,
of
I'm-
things.
There we go. Share that. Boom. There it is. That guy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would have to say the place where I know him most was he was Gaius Julius Caesar from the TV series Rome.
Oh,
Here we go.
okay.
There's Rome. Yeah, he was on Rome.
Wait, who was he in Harry Potter?
Yeah, he played
Alfred
Aberforth Dumbledore. Interesting.
Okay, that's where I know him.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, that was Steppenwolf. And although we heard very little of him, do we know who played the man himself at the end?
Dark Side.
Oh, yeah.
Let me. Yeah, in the future, guys, I'm gonna actually do more research and have these things pulled up before the stream. That's always gonna be a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find it right now. Nick, I'm just gonna charge you with like looking into it as we go, because we need to keep things rolling smooth. I don't know. I can't find him right now.
Right.
So, guys, here's the thing. This is a project we, a lot of fans who were super upset, sad, angry, all the things about the official theatrical release nearly 3-4 years ago. Just a quick preface. Let me throw this out there. Here, let me remove this real quick. Just to throw this out there. Sorry. Just to throw this out there, I'd like to preface the kind of what happened before leading into this. Zack Snyder got 100% of this thing finished, or let's say almost finished, and then tragedy befell our wonderful Zack Snyder. His older adopted daughter of 20-something years old, unfortunately, sadly, passed away due to suicide. And unfortunately, that put him in a position of grief and hard times with a loss. And Warner Brothers, I won't speak for the company because I don't know, but they took it upon themselves to take this opportunity to change, manipulate, edit, do whatever they could to bolster this into a money-making 2-hour slot. Paul, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and throw your thought with the history of this, because that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. The technical term would be course correct.
Yeah,
That's what they were trying to do. Warner Brothers was trying to course correct the Snyderverse. They were trying to lead it into a different environment, into a different way, because Batman vs Superman was not a critical success. It wasn't a very big financial success, and the common gripe with it was, oh, it's too dark, it's too dark, it's too dark. Like thematically,
yeah,
and then color gradient, all that kind of stuff. And then Wonder Woman was such a huge success, and it was lighter in tone, but still had some of that darkness to it. And they were like, okay, Batman and Superman, they're dead. They're dead to us. Wonder Woman is where it's at right now. And so you can see that in the Whedon version, Wonder Woman is the central character and the heart of the film, because they were putting that's the course correct. They were like, look, make it 2 hours, make Wonder Woman the face of the Justice League, and call it a day. So that was just what I wanted to say.
Oh no, dude. Yeah, you're fine, dude. They were trying to. It sucks. We're not going to waste our entire time on this whole thing. We're just going to be quick about this, like the history part of it, because we've already covered this on our channel. We've talked about how DC Universe has had failed film after failed film, while Marvel, owned by Disney, has just continually climbed that ladder of success. And through all of this, they finally got their blockbusters with Man of Steel and then Batman v Superman. They were hoping to catapult off of that, and they were trying to build this whole thing quickly. They were trying to fast track to the Marvel route. of getting the team film, where Marvel at the time, I know, no, dude, Paul, don't worry about interjecting because I know you know a lot more. But go ahead.
Well, because we're passing over Suicide Squad as well in this, and that was a huge flop. And then that one also, course correction. Remember the first trailer to Suicide Squad with Bohemian Rhapsody? It was dark. It was moody. It was very much the same style as Batman vs Superman. Then BVS tanks. So then think of the next trailer you see for Suicide Squad. Excuse me. It's much lighter in tone. It's funnier. There's jokes now. It's like, hey, it's gonna be fun and cool. Again, course correction, because they heard that critics said the series was too dark, and they were like, yeah, it's too dark because we can't sell it to kids. And that's the whole thing. If you cannot sell it to kids and families, you're not gonna be the Avengers making $1 billion. It's that simple.
No, yeah, it really is. Ryan, Tyler, Nick, do either of you want to add anything to that, or should we keep moving forward past the history part? Go. Wait, what was that, Ryan?
It's not necessarily an add to him. I have one addition to this, and that is my love of the new design of Steppenwolf, and he doesn't look like a scrawny little bitch anymore. That's my.
Hey, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into it on this cut for sure.
To add to it, I personally feel that if they would have leaned into that darkness and made it their own and tried not to make it Marvel, it wouldn't have been a flop. Suicide Squad would have been the Suicide Squad. It was nitty gritty in the comic books. Everything around them was always that way. Yeah, that's okay. Throwing jokes here and there, that's cool. Everyone likes dark humor. Dark humor's awesome. Make these for the adult fans. Don't worry about people that are going to be upset about it.
Exactly. I mean, like Marvel also has Deadpool. I mean, that was a really big, darker, more R-rated humor for Marvel, and it was pretty successful, even though it was not exactly Marvel owned at the time.
Well, that's the thing. Suicide Squad was supposed to be their answer to Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be their anti-hero group that does everything messed up.
I know it was a huge chance, and that whole movie ends up just becoming all about Harley Quinn, and her bad relationship history and stuff like that.
It was even more than that. It was just a really terribly made film because the pacing of it is so off. The first 15 minutes, they're really solid. Like, it's okay, you're getting the introduction to the characters. It's stylistic. It's cool. Like, it was really stylistic, like almost to the point where it was too much. It's like, you're trying to you're introducing way too many characters right now, way too quickly. Each of them has their own soundtrack. It's a just cacophony of sounds and images, And I think that was, again, because of reshoots and marketing, and so it's like, oh, we'll make it more MTV kind of thing,
Well, let's I don't know shit. Let's just take for a second and consider the fact that with Zack Snyder, I watched a few interviews recently since this release of Zack Snyder talking very candidly to IGN and other sources. And when asked about the length of the film and stuff like that, he talks about when Warner Brothers approached him and said, we want to do a Justice League film. And Zack's like, oh, you're giving me 6 characters that you want me to introduce out of nowhere. There's no backstory to any of them. As far as the cinematic universe is concerned, no one knows these guys, and you want me to cram this into a 2-hour by the books flick? And he said it can't be done. And so they didn't stop him initially. Like, they let him work through the production up to, like, he even said there's a 5-hour version of this that he wished he could put out, but Warner Brothers even cut stuff from the 4-hour version. Isn't that not ridiculous, Paul?
Jeez.
Like, 5-hour cut. We'll talk about the length.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, we will, and that's
a commitment.
And that's why it would have been better to make this either a trilogy or do the Marvel way. Take your time, introduce the characters separately, then make a team film. You know, that's why the Marvel method worked, is because we were introduced to 3 characters first. They got their own films: Iron Man, Thor, Captain America,
And Incredible Hulk.
Oh, okay. Well,
can't
to be
forget
fair,
about
yeah,
it,
that's a little bit of a weird spot. No, it is.
It is significantly placed in the MCU.
No. I'm not arguing that,
especially
Paul. I mean,
considering the
it's
general,
what I'm trying to say is it's a little shady in the grand picture of things, because we didn't know there was an MCU until Iron Man was successful. But yeah, the Edward Norton take of Bruce Banner was and is considered part of the MCU. You get what I'm saying? It gets a little muddy at the end, at the beginning, but we all know as fans it was part of it. So what I'm saying, guys, here, Nick, hey, dude, go ahead. You want to say?
I will wait till we talk to the length.
The discussion. Okay. All right. We are outtakes and kid interruptions aside. We're 40 minutes into the stream. It's probably more like 20 minutes once I cut out the bullshit. But that being said, guys, let's get into the meat and potatoes and kind of I would like each of us a turn to give a, as spoiler-free as possible, review / rating. And then anyone that wants to stick around for spoilers, that'll be time-stamped in this episode, and we can freely talk about the movie when we get to that point. So, I want to challenge Paul as being the first guy here, because he said he has a lot to say. I want to see how controlled and condensed can you be making this a spoiler-free review. Before you give your review of this one, I wanted to hear what did you read versus that. And so we're going to start with you, Paul. Nope, don't give the number yet. Give us your first impressions and then the number, okay? So, Paul, I'm going to switch things around. Boom, here you go. All right, it's you. Dude, me. Go ahead.
So wait, do you want my first impressions of the Snyder cut, or do you want me to like preface it?
Okay, no. We're gonna compare. All we're doing is right now we're gonna do a spoiler free of the 4-hour cut.
Okay, gotcha.
And then before giving the number, what was the Wheaton number versus this number?
Gotcha. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So spoiler free, condensed. This is a significantly different and better film with a cohesive storyline, true character moments, incredible action, dynamite score. I really, really, really enjoy it. I really enjoyed it. I mean, here's the thing, to say the Whedon thing, I liked the Whedon cut just because it was Justice League and I got to see big screen Batman and Superman. So I was like, hey, like whatever, I'll take it. So like my Whedon cut is like a 6.5.
Ooh.
And then
sorry.
No, that's fine. And then the Snyder cut is it's a solid 9, like out of 10 for me. Like legit, a solid 9 out of 10.
Dude, sweet. Is that all you want to say? Because we've got I'm open to making this a long episode if you got a little more to say, or if you want to save it for spoilers.
No, I want to save it for spoiler stuff. I just wanted to give that.
That's high praise coming for me.
No, that is high praise. All right. Let's see. Nick. Sorry, dude. Sorry to call you out, but
it's okay.
Go ahead. Your turn.
This was. It wasn't a movie. It was an epic. The way it was approached, even with the length and everything, it was approached completely differently than any movie I've seen. The way they broke it up, there was reason behind it. And the way he wanted to deliver his message, he stuck to his guns. No matter what WB said, he stuck to his guns, and it was fantastic, and it showed through the artistry. Paul said the score was amazing. The score made all the difference in this movie. There were scenes from the original to scenes from this one that they changed the score for those scenes, and the whole feel of it, you felt it. It made all the difference in the world to me. It tied the emotion behind it to the music, to the character, to yourself. I didn't, when we talked about this before, talked about doing this a long time ago when they were said it was coming out, I was holding my reservations about it. You guys gave me crap about it. But honestly, what they did with it was amazing. This to me was the Braveheart of DC films. It was amazing. And without getting into the spoiler stuff, which we will get into soon, I loved every second of it. There were moments that drew out and it felt kind of slow, but it was story building. It was a reason for it. I was fine with it. Yeah, it was a work of art.
Okay, but now we need your Whedon cut rating and then this rating.
As a nerd, I went and watched the Whedon cut. I told myself I have to watch it. It's Justice League. I am a DC fanboy through and through, and I have to watch it. So I watched it. And there's movies in your life that traumatize you for the rest of your life. This was one of them. The original Joss Whedon version of this kept me up for days. It was awful. I gave it a 2 out of 10. It is in my top 10 worst movies I have ever seen. I hated it that much.
Okay, now what's the Snyder cut?
And with everything they did, everything they changed, everything they took out, all the reshoots, everything they did to make this what it was supposed to be, what it should have been originally, this gives, I can only give this a 9.5 out of 10. This was a fantastic movie. The only thing that keeps me from giving it a 10 is the length of the movie. It was unwieldy to me, but still, as a piece of artwork, it was phenomenal, and I was willing to set through those dead times for it.
Dude, right on. Fair enough. Sounds good. All right, dude. All right, next up. Ryan or Tyler? Do you care who goes next? I'll go last.
I don't care either way. Mine will be
Tyler?
short.
Tyler?
You can do his first because this will be short, probably.
All right.
All right, well, here we go. All right, Tyler, go ahead. Sorry, Ryan. Go ahead. You're up.
How
Ryan.
dare you?
I'm learning the names. It's a slip of the tongue. I do it with my daughters all the time. My bad.
Picture it. 2017. You're excited. Justice League has finally hit theaters. You're on your way, but you get in a horrific car accident on your way there. There's destruction, fire, twisted metal all around you, only to realize that you're actually already in the theater, watching the Joss Whedon cut. You call for a paramedic to rescue you, but no one comes. You're there for the entire 2 hours, and it is brutally long. Then, 4 years pass. You forget about the turmoil and pain you've gone through, and you find yourself on HBO Max watching the Snyder Cut. And the first 2 hours feel like nothing at all. Sure, there's slow moments here and just for character building, but god damn it, it is good. It is well made, it's cohesive, it makes sense. And you forget about the tragic car accident you were in 4 years ago in the first half of the Snyder Cut. So, for my numerical choices.
I need to hear the first one. Whedon first.
Whedon. I'm sorry. You have not always done me wrong, but that was a blow I will never forgive you for. you get a solid 1 out of 10 for the wounds you have done to my emotional body. Joss, I'll never forgive you. Ever. There's no
That's
Band-Aid for
emotional.
that emotional wound. But Snyder, you're rocking, man. Love you. 8.5.
All right. Damn. First off, I'll edit this in. I need a round of applause right now. The drama of your delivery, sir.
Wonderful story. Wonderful story.
Is it weird that I have an odd erection right now?
Nick, why are you just always loaded for bear, man?
Damn, Nick. Come on, bro. Can I mind you? I'm gonna
break every once in a while. Like tape it to your leg, man.
Something. Okay.
Like I'm gonna have to talk to HR
Nick's been
eventually,
taking
bro.
Blue Chew. That's what it is.
Yeah, you're gonna have to talk to HR because Nerdentials pays all of you. I wish.
They
That's a
pay me
joke.
with time.
I'll be
They pay
right
You're
me.
getting paid?
Someday.
Mhm. I
Oh,
got
sorry, Nick.
I got
you
a
didn't know?
6-pack of beer and a little flashlight that I still have.
That's true. I made a personal visit not too long ago. Okay.
A few months ago now.
Damn. I know he just left, and Tyler, I am sorry that you have to
Oh,
follow
no
that
worries.
up.
I know
But,
that was ridiculous,
but
right?
that was
Well, you have to follow that up too, Joe.
I gotta follow all of it up. I know.
At least you're not like right next, like
Yeah,
I
but
know.
you're new.
Hey, I know.
Ryan, that was beautiful.
He can't hear you yet. Tell him again. Right about here. Hold on. Tell him.
Ryan, that was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I was trying to console Tyler that he followed you up after that.
I know that's just ridiculous.
But it's okay. I'm gonna follow all of you up, and I'm not saying it's gonna be good or bad. So don't stress nothing, dude. You just speak your heart, speak your mind. Whatever comes, let it flow. I'm gonna pass it over to you, sir. Here. Now, what were your thoughts, Mr. Tyler?
Well, I haven't watched the
Spoiler
Weeds
free.
yet, so yeah, that's
okay.
Don't really have that
Fresh
much of an
eyes.
opinion.
That's
I know
okay. This is you're our first fresh eyes tonight. Go ahead.
Yeah. However, I am a huge DC comic book nerd, and I kind of shunned the whole thought of when it got to that point with the Justice League. So I just kind of boycotted it at the whole point, or at the whole first showing. So that being said, I watched the whole thing today, and it is really, Nick said it really well. It's very well done. It's very long, but at the same time, I felt it was just like opening up a paperback. Like I have right here the very first issue of Justice League, as well as Earth 2, and these two comic books have pretty much the essence of the movie without the movie's story, and I thought they followed it extremely well without doing anything at all the same. And it was just very, very long, and I liked that they did the part set up, because most of these trade paperbacks are actually like 7 full-length comic books, and it was like each part was a full comic book. And it was like, it was said and done. It had the next part set up, and it had the whole epilogue set up for the next trade paperback to come in for the next thing. I thought it was very well done as far as the comic book's done, or like comic book reader standpoint. So numerical value, I'd have to give it a definite 9.5 out of 10. It's literally just little nuances of little character details that it bother me. But we'll go get into that.
Dude, absolutely, yeah. Right on, dude.
I really like getting Tyler's perspective on that, because I didn't even think about the like you pointed out to me the whole idea of like it being like each issue in a longer series, and it's like, holy shit, like you're absolutely right. Like that's just another aspect to the filmmaking process and its respect that it's paying to the source material, not just in like Justice League, but to like the source, like respect
Right.
to the medium of comics.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
cool to hear your
dude.
perspective also on it as, first of all, someone who hasn't seen the Whedon cut and is is into comic books like that, because I haven't gotten to speak to anyone from that perspective yet, and that's what's so fun about this. So that was really cool to hear your perspective on it, and that was it's exciting to me too, because honestly, it validates how I feel about this movie, and it feels good to be validated about something that you wanted it to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Like you wanted it to be good, and then you hear that, and like this comic fan is just like, oh, it's like a comic as a movie, and you're just like, yes.
I want to validate, Paul. I want to add to that. I want to validate that too. That I love the fact, bro, that you pulled up 2 graphic novels there as a reference point too. It's like, damn, yes.
No, I
have them, man. I've read them.
Yeah, I gotta say, Joe always gives me credit as like the kind of the comic book guy in our group.
Most of the time,
in the past, Tyler's one of the few people that I've actually been able to sit down for hours and just talk about comic book characters and just go in depth on the conversations.
From that medium too, the comic book medium itself, which is awesome. Okay, guys. Bear with me. I now have to wrap up my spoiler-free review here. So,
I want to hear it.
That being said, let me preface my first experience very quickly. I'm not going to draw out too much of this here because a lot's been already said. But my Joss Whedon cut, and I want to say this. I feel like the internet is going to very easily shit on Joss Whedon because of the place he was put in. And I would like, and I think a lot of us will agree with this and understand from an industry standpoint that a big name like WB, Warner Brothers, pulled him in to try to slap a Band-Aid over something that he didn't create. And I see Paul nodding. I see a few of you with light nods, and you understand what I'm saying. That we say that we purely call it the Joss Whedon cut because that's an easy way to separate it from the Snyder cut. It's a label. Unfortunately, the creator behind the name Joss Whedon is a fantastic creator. Has done many great things prior to this, but he was hired by Paul, I see the head tilting.
No. Keep going. I'm not going to interrupt you.
I know. While maybe not the coolest or greatest creator in the world, he's done a lot of good things, mixed things, whatever. But overall, I would just like to throw this out there. No, I mean, was he the best option? Maybe not. But I just don't want to rip the man apart as much as what we should be ripping apart is the studio, Warner Brothers. Because really, the executives there are still not happy with this Snyder cut, and they still were trying to, they literally days before the release, were trying to bury it with the announcement that they're going to do a Superman reboot. And no, there is no casting yet. There's nothing. They literally put a headline out there saying, we're going to reboot Superman. Hold on, Paul.
I just have a question really quick.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. This is the JJ one that you're talking about?
No. Oh, I don't know who's involved yet. And maybe JJ Abrams, and maybe they're trying to pull him in. I think I know what you're talking about. But yeah, no, this happened within days ago. Couple days, 2 days ago, Warner Brothers was trying to lay out an announcement there saying we're rebooting Superman to literally bury the project that they put $70 million into to allow the fandom and Zack Snyder to finish this project. They were literally still uncertain and embarrassed by this bullshit. We'll get to that later. There's too much going on here in the overhead thing, the overhead part of the industry. And I really wish they'd take a page out of the people from Lucasfilm, not Disney as a whole. Disney as a whole, they're good at listening to their management in some ways.
So your Whedon cut number?
I know. I'm all right. Here we go. No, thank you, Paul. for this
Stop making
topic, you're
excuses.
keeping me on track. I'm sorry.
Give us the number.
There's too much to be said there. Yeah. So let me make it brief, like you guys did. I absolutely loved what I got to sit through for the 4 hours and 2 minutes on HBO Max. I loved it. Was it perfect? It's hard to make that cut of what someone might think is perfect, and no one in this world is perfect. No one in existence is perfect. But was it perfect for me? Did it hit the fandom level that I hoped for? I am gonna have to say yes. And here's the thing: the one stipulation that a lot of you and people on the internet are throwing out there, there's so many things done right here. The soundtrack, the acting, the action sequences, everything, the tone, the original vision. The only thing that I would have thrown in there, as I don't know how this is going to be, was the 4:3 ratio, cutting it down to standard definition TV versus widescreen 16:9. This was quoted on the internet as a Zack Snyder choice to film everything in 4:3 for this vision. I don't know. I haven't listened. Go ahead, Paul. I'll let you go ahead and interject real quick.
So the aspect ratio, it was framed into 1:6:6, which he chose to do it this way because originally when it was going to be released in theaters, it was going to be an IMAX release as well. And they want, you see more of the image
Right.
in the 4:3 standard. So it's
Right.
4:3 box, but he filmed it in 1:6:6, and then 1:8:5 it stretches. So I just wanted to say the technical format stuff since you were bringing it up.
Thank you for that. No, I love that. Like, here's the interesting thing about my opinion on that is from someone who doesn't understand the technical aspect of that, I thought, oh, that's so weird. And because when I saw the trailers leading up to it, I was like, why isn't box like standard TV? I was like, that's weird. I grew up in the 90s. 4:3 was standard definition. However, you were right. When I've looked at videos online of the 16:9 versus the 1:6:6, what you just said, and I was like, it is so weird, but you do, the way he filmed it, you see more. A lot of the top and bottom is cut out. Granted, you see a wider peripheral, and it's a weird thing with cinema. We'll talk about it another time. That's not like the big important thing here. All I want to say is from someone that didn't understand what was better or not on that, my only nitpick was like, I don't know if I'm going to like fourth because I thought it was so weird. As I watched it, though, the artistry, as Nick pointed out, and all of you have pointed out, the direction, the tone, everything he did, including the soundtrack, made me completely lose myself in the aspect ratio. I no longer gave a shit when the aspect ratio had anything to do with it. Like the black bars on the bottom, I didn't even think about it because everything Zack Snyder did from there on out, outside of the aspect ratio, was so good that I didn't even pay attention to what aspect ratio it was in. Right? So we'll get in deeper with like continuity and characters in a minute here, but so finally I will say this. My rating, the Whedon cut, guys, don't watch any superhero movie with someone who is slightly, even a little bit confused by anything comic canon, or if someone needs to know more than what they're being shown to understand the story, don't watch it with them. I love my significant other, and that's all I'll say. Because of watching it with said person, it made me hate the film more because I'm like, I understand it because I'm a comic book fan. I know the motives and reasons all these characters. I can look past the Frankenstein cut And Paul said he still enjoyed it because for the sake of enjoyment, he enjoyed seeing his heroes on screen at the same time. Same thing, dude. I agree with that. But you watched it, I'm guessing, by yourself. Yeah, Paul? By yourself?
Oh yeah, and also
Okay.
dozens of times.
Okay, so I might have loved it more by myself, but the thing I appreciate about my wife is she's a huge nerd, but a lot of these things she comes to with the audience perspective in hand, and that's who we're really trying to cater to when it comes to this industry of film. Is for a lot of the blockbusters, especially what Marvel's doing and what DC's doing, is we're trying to appeal to the masses. So when the said masses are trying to understand the story, and every literally 2 to 3 minutes a question pops up and you have to pause the movie and explain what's going on because you are a nerd and you know so much more about their backgrounds, that is a failed movie by and large. That is a apocalyptic failure. If I have to explain to my super nerdy Harry Potter loving wife who knows the ins and outs of every novel and knows how they differentiate from the film, and I still have to explain to her why one character's pissed off at the other and why are they in this argument, you have a failed movie on your hands. So sorry to the name Whedon, but the Whedon cut to me gets a 1, maybe a 2, because I not only suffered watching it with someone who knew nothing about it, I got to see all the flaws in that Frankenstein cut. A 1 out of 10. Sorry, someone else gave it a 1 out of 10. I'm sticking to that too. 1 out of 10. Holy shit!
I have to say though, where Paul said he loved it, he actually enjoyed it. Now, just because I gave it a 2 out of 10 doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. I actually watched
know,
this
Nick.
I'm one of those people that actually watch movies that are so bad that I enjoy them.
I know B movies. My father-in-law loves B movies.
Thing is, though, like I genuinely enjoyed it. Like, here's the thing. So, when it came out, it was my most hyped film. I bought that and Thor Ragnarok like back to back as they came out at the same time on digital, and I watched them like back to back. And the first time I watched them both back to back, I liked Justice League more than Thor Ragnarok.
Oh,
I did.
Woo!
That's
crazy.
I loved it, and I was so excited about it. I was like, dude, they got to give Joss Whedon a Superman movie. Like, I have there was a Facebook memory, like that's what it is. Like, yo, someone give Joss Whedon Superman, because here's the thing, he made the film Warner Brothers wanted him to make. And Joe, earlier you said, you're like, was he the right choice? He absolutely was. This is the dude who made $1 billion with a fucking comic book movie. So they were like, we gotta go to this guy. Like, we gotta go to this guy. And
that was their thought.
Like,
that was their thought, dude.
Exactly. Like, and it's just like, look, I'm not going to defend the Whedon cut because there are glaring issues now, especially when you see what it should have been. And
Paul,
now I dislike it more, but like
Paul,
at the time,
they gave him a huge amount of content that they didn't like, and they said, "Fix this." And so we can't. That's why I said we can't fault him because he didn't build it from the ground up.
The thing is, the stuff he reshot and rewrote is terrible.
It's got problems.
It's objectively terrible. Like, in hindsight, like looking at what it should have been, the things that he changed, you're like, what the dude? Like, where the do you get off? Like, changing all of these massive character arcs and changing the heart and soul of this movie. Where do you go? You get the quip, dude. You're gonna make Barry Allen talk about brunch? That's your big contribution? Not the fact that his father is in prison, not that dynamic relationship, not the stuff with Iris, none of that, but brunch? Brunch? You, Joss Whedon. Brunch.
I may not censor this episode. We're so deep into it. I don't even. I love the raw thoughts behind it, Paul.
Ryan had his hand raised.
I did have something.
Go ahead, dude.
So to go on elaborate a little further with what he said, specifically Ragnarok kind of ruined it for me because I had seen Ragnarok before I saw the Whedon cut.
It was so
And
good.
then, even though, as far as the Marvel movies go, I liked Ragnarok, it wasn't really high up on my list. It did it better than what Whedon was doing with
Yes.
this. So I like
yeah.
Whedon a lot. I know that doesn't sound like it with my earlier review,
Well,
but I really like Whedon.
hey, hold on.
It's just that
Let's
I think Ragnarok first.
let me give you my Snyder rating because it got split
yeah.
a little bit.
Oh
So-
yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, no worries, dude. A lot is going raw. We're gonna throw the spoiler warning here in a second, and then we're free to go. I'll say this, guys. Snyder cut for me. Here's what I want the to justify the number I'm going to give you right now. I want to say that I'm rating it on purely the artist's vision versus the artist's product that we got. I know we're in here to rate film for film's sake, and usually we have guidelines like, does this work in theaters? This doesn't. Can we take this epic, as Nick put it, and split it into 4 or 5 parts? No, because it wasn't written that way. And could it have been? Maybe, but not by Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder was given an impossible task to take 7 characters and slam them in all at once, and he had to write it in a way that we would somehow care about these characters, and that's where Warner Brothers f***ed up. That's where they screwed the pooch. They gave one really good, cool director an impossible task to make us fall in love with this many characters in the scope of one film, and that was not possible. It never would have been. Zack Snyder's not stupid. He loves making slow-mo epics, but to make you fall in love with this many characters and give context to what their purpose is, it was a project that was impossible. And for what he pulled off in this 4-hour cut, even with still cutting out some things that we still don't know what he had to cut out, I want to know. I'm so curious. What dark shit did he have to cut out? The Warner Bros. Was like, you still can't do that, or you still can't do that, but we're allowing 4 hours because it's HBO Max. In a world of the pandemic and streaming services, a 4-hour movie was birthed. And for what it was and what came out of it, I personally am giving this a 10 out of 10. Because for me personally, this doesn't reflect the group as a whole, but I'm taking the 4 hours and saying, what did he create in this project? And I have to give it a 10 out of 10 for me. And I respect everyone else's numbers and agree with everyone else. And Nick said his biggest hangup was just, could this have worked in cinema? No. You and me agree. No, well, it was one aspect. I thought you said, could this? It was too long.
I said it was unwieldy. But
an overwhelming piece of art, right?
Here's the thing, though. I would pay the money to go and sit and watch this in the theater right now.
Oh, absolutely, dude. What was the one thing that held you from a 10? What's the big thing then? Because I feel like maybe am I silly for saying that?
I didn't feel that it was necessary for them to actually have the breaks between each segment.
Oh,
that could have been smoother.
Oh,
and that was the only issue, and that's why it was unwieldy to me, because they had planned on having it be a 4-part segment, and then instead of fixing that and filling in those blanks, they just slapped it all together and said, "You're gonna get it. Let's do this."
I think, Nick, I want to throw this out there. I think just to counter that, I think it doesn't make sense as a 4-parter, like, regardless of length. And I think the bigger part was the fact that there were actually 6 chapters in the whole layout. Prologue, epilogue, and then 4 big parts in the middle. I think that's where Zack Snyder himself said, I can't really split this into 4 pieces, guys, because of the length, but like the way the pacing is, he didn't think he could do that. So anyway, sticks, stones, we're getting into the mud here, but like, But
if we take all our stuff and average it,
that was my rating.
Everyone's stuff,
I'd say 9.5.
Yeah,
Nice.
9.95 between everyone here. We got 5 numbers, and I love what Tyler said, how it was very comparable to a graphic novel layout. So he's reading it from a first-time take on it, and you, me, and Paul are rating it from a this version versus that. And Ryan's rating it as Ryan. Did you see the previous one?
Yeah.
I saw the Whedon cut, and I
Okay,
saw
sorry.
half of
Remember,
the
he had an
Snyder
epic
cut.
speech about it.
Yeah, no, right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
whole
I'm sorry,
speech.
dude. 5 voices. I'm trying to collect
Okay.
everything that happened.
Okay.
So,
No, now that we've actually gave our review on each of those real quick, the spoiler free, I think there's an important thing that needs to happen here real quick.
yes.
We need to have a Whedon talk.
Now, hold on. Do we need to save that for the spoiler warning
No,
post or right now?
This is just this will give us some background on why I think what Whedon didn't work.
Okay, let's make it a little short.
I'll make it
that way
really
we can
short. Yeah.
So that way we can dive into the full thing.
I have loved everything Whedon has ever done. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel, Dollhouse, Firefly, all of it. There was reasons for everything he did, and I liked what he did in them. But they've all had their catastrophic failures for one reason. And people might hate me for this, but Whedon has turned into Hollywood's yes man. He doesn't fight for what he wants, and he will take the dive and just say, "Okay, let's move on to the next."
Nick, I will probably agree with the hand up. Are you cool with Paul's interjection?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Paul.
Wholeheartedly disagree on that. Joss Whedon is notoriously hard-headed with a very angry temper when it comes to dealing with executives by his own admission. In a lot of when you see him in interviews, he will always say that he has a reputation for being the bad guy. And he's been doing, and that's been since Buffy. That's always been his thing because he doesn't want to bend for someone else. Like the thing, like he'll compromise, yeah. But
what would you say about Avengers 2, Paul?
That I was just gonna say that.
Okay, sorry.
I was just gonna bring up Age of Ultron because Age of Ultron is kind of like his Justice League. Honestly, in that he wanted to take it to some dark places, and Marvel was like, no. Look, you can't do that. You have to set up Thor Ragnarok. You have to set up what's going to happen with Black Widow. You have to set up this. You have to set up Tony's visions and his PTSD. Like they gave him a check mark, just like they did all the directors. And he said, look, okay, I'll do them, but I need to do them in my way. So I don't think he's a yes man. I think J.J. Abrams is Hollywood's yes man.
Dude, yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
But Joss Whedon, I think Joss Whedon is. I think he just didn't give a shit. That's what I think because we know he's talented. We know he's good. Like we know that. This was him for one not giving a shit, and two, I think he was trying to sabotage the project because he felt insulted. Yeah. That this was going to happen.
Right. And I'm sure he respects Zack Snyder on some level.
I don't know about that part, but I think he was insulted that they came to him and said, look, fix this. Do it in
That's what I meant. I guess that's what I meant. Yeah. Fix another director's project is what I meant.
They didn't give him the first shot.
Not only that, it's like it's that fact that he was the Avengers person and they're like, well, let's just do Justice Avengers. That's what the executives wanted. They're like they made a ton of money because of Avengers.
Just make them quippy. Make them quippy with like basically it seemed like that was the note.
Yeah, you could see it coming in the trailers. You could see it coming with the fact that they put Joss Whedon under it. It's one of the main reasons why I boycotted watching the original version. It was like I don't have anything against Joss Whedon. I think he did an excellent job in the Marvel world, but I don't think that they hired him for very good reasons. And honestly, I kind of agree that he could have been on the whole sabotaging end of that Justice League thing, even though I haven't seen it myself. But
it's possible.
It makes sense, especially considering like he kind of built the big team superhero on the other end and make his other one look better.
He did the first $1 billion comic book movie. Like that's nothing
Yeah.
to sneeze at. That's a huge accomplishment in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You
Don't
know?
put yourself through the car accident, Tyler. Stay safe.
The car
It's
Stay safe.
it's like saying, okay, this great version of this cake is made. Or no, you know what? I'm gonna go to a steakhouse and get a steak, or I can go to Dollar Tree and buy one of their steaks in the freezer. Go to the steakhouse, get the good steak. It's
I
there.
wouldn't go that far. I'd say it's like going to a steakhouse, but settling for like a Taco Bell steak taco. Because like it's still okay. To me, it's like it's still okay. Like it's still food.
It's palatable.
Exactly. That's how I feel about the Whedon cut. It's like it's palatable, but actually not anymore. Since you've seen the Snyder cut first, don't.
It might be bad. Yeah.
Don't
There's
go
no
back.
point.
Man.
Oh, it's
Just don't do it.
I'm not going back.
just the
going back to
difference
that. Are
in
you kidding
Steppenwolf
me?
alone is just
Once-
eye-gougingly awful.
Like
Once
I
he
told
goes
you,
Zach, you don't go back.
Exactly.
Oh,
It's like
I
you
like
make
that.
the same mistake with just Batman versus Superman. We wanted the Ultimate Edition way back then.
It's
Yeah.
so true, man. That's the thing about Zack Snyder, man. Zack Snyder makes the best epic action movies. I've been thinking about
Right.
this for days. Like,
That's why
Why'd you
they're
say
so
Martha?
long, dude.
why'd you say that?
300.
I will justify that till my dying day.
I liked it. I'm not gonna lie. I liked it.
Yeah, like I love that movie, dude. And
Mhm.
this and Justice League, like when man, because like I binged them. I was like, yeah, I watched them all, and then I watched that Justice League with that Joss Whedon got to release,
Mhm.
and it just like the tonal shift, it just derails, and you're like, wait, what am I watching now?
I
Like, it
still have
works
not finished
now.
Man of Steel.
I like Man of Steel. I didn't like it the first time I watched it, but
It's not that I don't like it, it's that something keeps coming up every time I try to watch it. It's like the universe is telling me to not watch it.
Oh no!
I
Find
love it, dude.
Like
find
6
some
times
time for
now.
solitude, dude, and
Cavill's
knock
my
it out.
Superman.
It's a good rewatch.
No,
I have
love
to say,
Henry Cavill.
I can highly appreciate that in the reshoots they were able to actually reshoot the Henry Cavill pieces, so there's no CG porn stash.
Uncanny
CG
Valley.
upper lip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and to be fair, like let's just throw this out there before we dive in to spoilers. We were presented with a 2-hour cut, and Zack Snyder had almost 2 full hours of crap they cut and left on the floor.
Mhm.
Like they in total, after researching it, he only reshot 5 minutes of footage with any of the actors. The other hour and a half on this cut was stuff that Warner Brothers said, cut that, or whatever. You know, they left it up to Whedon. Hey, cut this down to 2 hours. Whatever that was, there was already almost 2 hours of footage before it was cut. And Warner Brothers, damn you, kept it from us for the last 4+ years. That being said, guys, I think we've gone so long. We need to, whatever spoilers we want to talk needs to come to fruition here. So if you guys are ready, I'm going to throw that spoiler warning. You guys all ready?
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
do this.
All right, guys, get ready for a spoiler warning.
Warning. Spoiler alert. Warning. Spoiler alert. You have been warned.
Boom.
All right, I'm going to come out swinging.
Spoiler
say
warnings have.
I have to say
Yeah.
this,
Okay,
Please
go
do.
ahead.
Please do.
Jared Leto.
Oh, we're
I
just
have-
going to cut to the end. Okay.
I do. There was a section in the movie that had the thing, and Jared Leto reprises his role as the Joker. They did us a wonderful service and removed the face tattoos and
Mhm.
the
They did
grill
do
and
that,
all
yeah.
that. But I've been critical of other renditions of Joker, like Heath Ledger. I've told you before, I don't think he was playing the Joker. He played an awesome character, but he was not the Joker to me. Jared Leto not only made up for the shit, awful version of the Joker he played in Suicide Squad. To me, he gave the single best performance of any Joker I've ever seen, and gave me chills.
Ooh.
In that little snippet that we got that wanted me to see the movie that got him to there. That cackle he does in it. It's just like my skin crawled from my lower spine all the way to the back of my skull. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, dude. Like this right here.
Yeah, this scene.
This little
Not that scene.
right there. That
Yeah.
guy.
Did I miss it, or he doesn't say the society line in the movie, does he? That was just in the trailer.
Just in the trailer.
That mother troll, dude. Zack Snyder is such a troll because people lost their shit over there. They're like, "That's so dumb," and I'm like, "Nah, dude, that's not." Yeah, it's a society, Batman. Yeah, single best Joker, really? In that?
That's really high praise.
It's a little extreme, bro.
I'm gonna respectfully disagree. I would like to talk to you outside of this about your Heath Ledger Joker thing. I would like to talk about that.
Get a baseball bat, break his fucking knees.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Talk about this outside.
But I like that, Nick. I do like that. That's where you jump to was the end, because that is the spoiler that I want to talk about, because Joe was mentioning reshoots. That's the only stuff that they reshot for this movie was the nightmare stuff, because that was originally theoretically that was going to be part of the third Justice League film. That was the plan.
Yeah.
So that's okay. So we keep talking about the length. I just want to say this. So everyone talks 4 hours. The movie itself is 3 hours 50 proper, 3:52-ish.
Oh, minus credits.
Okay,
of course.
so minus the credits. Okay. The nightmare sequence is 10 minutes. Take out another 10 minutes. We're at 3:40. We're just over 3.5 hours. The stuff that they could have cut, they could have cut it down to about a 3.5 hour or 3 hour movie, because Avengers showed us that you could get away with a 3 hour movie in theater. They could have cut this down to 3 hours and it would have played in theaters amazingly well.
With keeping all that context, yeah. With like character motivations. So many things were cut, yeah.
Might I add my favorite part so far from the first half that I saw, because I don't care about spoilers. My favorite part.
We're spoiler free right now, or spoiler-ish completely.
Yeah.
All spoilers.
I don't give a crap anyway. Either way, my favorite part of it was honestly the cut during the war when Darkseid is first invading in the ancient times. Oh, dude, it was so fucking brutal and awesome.
Yeah.
Seeing Ares take that axe right into him.
Yeah.
It
Blood
reminded
splatter.
me of,
We saw blood.
yeah, it was blood splatter. It was gore. You see a lantern get his hand chopped off. It was awesome.
That was so cool. And then you see the lantern.
Yes.
The ring.
Like you see the light
looking around.
It was so
Dude,
cool.
no, my favorite
Speaking of lanterns,
of that scene with the hand rolling on the floor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's traditional in comics is when a lantern is slain, the ring comes off the finger and seeks out a new, host. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, the fact that Darkseid almost like tries yanking it out of the sky because he sees that and like knows that shit.
I didn't even notice that.
Oh,
he sees it and like almost yanks it out for it. Not only that, like speaking of lanterns, the post-ending world of like World War going on, like future part a little bit later.
Yeah.
They have another Green Lantern. Did you notice that it was actually Kilowog?
Oh, I did
not.
They totally have him just laying dead, like on the field of all the people, and it's just as you just think it's a Green Lantern, but it's definitely Kilowog's face in that.
Oh, I did not do a scene by scene takedown, and I also missed a lot of it. But I'm sure there is so much in there, dude.
Oh, there's a lot.
Tyler, you're blowing my mind tonight, dude.
I just watched it, so it's fresh.
I appreciate you being on here for details like that, though. It is fun.
Well, I also love that in the nightmare sequence, you see Barry Allen in his Flash armor. And then I also love that you see Deathstroke chilling out.
Oh,
with them. Like, we haven't we didn't talk about that at all. Like Deathstroke,
Yeah, the fact
we
that we
haven't
have
talked about
freaking
anything,
Deathstroke.
dude. This is all spoiler
the fact
shit.
that-
We haven't
I
even
know.
gotten into it.
Let's
Not
just
even
get into
the
it.
fact that like Deathstroke was just as like hired as a villain just a couple seconds before that scene, and then all of a sudden they're like, "What the? They're all together? Like,
Yeah.
No.
he's not gonna kill Batman now?"
Yeah. No, they did something that was awesome in this movie, and I loved it. They made the connections that we need for these other movies to happen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Showing Deathstroke being hired by Lex Luthor to take out Batman, that runs right into what they had planned for the Batman movie. It was going to have Deathstroke as the lead villain versus
Totally.
Batman and all that. They went from there to show Aquaman, where he was going to go into his movie, where he already did, obviously.
Yeah.
The
Post
whole
all
thing
that.
where he's like, the Flash is like, I gotta break this rule. I gotta go faster than I've ever done. And then the whole time paradox thing. He does it. They set it up for all these points for these movies to happen.
Mhm.
I
and
know.
was so freaking happy that they did, and it angers me that WB will not let Zack Snyder do more of it, and that they're kind of abandoning it.
They haven't kind of abandoned it. It's dead. Zack Snyder has confirmed that he knows that his stuff is not canon anymore, and we all have to come to terms with that. And it is a shame.
After seeing it play out, dude,
I'm more upset about how they did Henry Cavill so dirty. That's what upsets me the most. Like they've been jerking him around since 2012.
he was he's such a fan of the character he got to play, and that saddens me greatly.
And not just Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck. Everyone gives him crap for the Batfleck, but
yeah, right there.
No, dude, people giving him crap for Batfleck don't actually watch movies. Like I'm sure of this because they have the same gripe no matter what. Ben Affleck, I'm saying this right here, and I'm going to look right into the camera when I say this. Ben Affleck is my favorite live action on screen Batman, hands down. He is my favorite, and this movie confirmed that for me. I will throw hands. I don't like Christian Bale's Batman.
Christian Bale is not my personal favorite either, but I saying that Batfleck's my personal favorite is a bit strong myself. However, I do think he makes a very good rendition of Batman, and I think the Frank Miller-esque Dark Knight Rises, Dark Knight Returns style he portrays is a very good fitting theme for this.
That was a good version for him. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's the Batman I want to see on the big screen, dude. Like Michael Keaton's Batman. I hate those movies, dude.
Hey man, that's a Tim Burton thing. Come on.
Hey,
like
I agree there too.
Like, I'm gonna have to agree wholeheartedly with.
I love Batman.
As a fan of the original cartoons, the comic books, everything like that. Not only was he the best on-screen Batman, he was probably the best on-screen Bruce Wayne. He had that charisma, that wit, and everything along with it.
There is that.
He was the best complete Batman we have seen to date.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the way they jerk him around, just like they did with Henry Cavill, he doesn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Don't blame him.
But and it's sad because it was amazing. And Batman doesn't use shotguns. Okay. I agree, but you know what? It's a movie. Someone took their interpretation of it. He was still Batman.
Yeah.
Nick said it the best right there. Repeat it for the back of the class, please.
Yeah.
Just because he didn't do what we wanted him to do doesn't mean he wasn't Batman. Because he did what he needed to do. He did what we deserved.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is whenever someone says Batman doesn't use guns, I literally just tell them to read Batman #1. Go on DC Universe, read Batman #1. He uses a freaking gun, Batman #1. He uses a gun, first issue of Batman.
Yeah,
killed him in
dude,
Detective
right?
Comics 27. Yeah.
Detective Comics #1, yeah.
The doctor, the weird Dr.
Yeah, he was
Death
like a
guy.
vampire monk dude that he shot with a gun and killed him.
Yeah.
I know. And granted, he didn't do it for like obviously the entirety of his stint as the vigilante bat, but he from the tragedy of his parents dying, like he took that so hard that he went like any one of us would have. And this is granted, you got to think about modern comic books and censorship back when the Comic Association, whatever, blah blah blah, started hammering
Comic
down on
Code.
censorship. The Comic Code Authority, rather. Yeah, sorry, my bad. But you know what I'm saying, Tyler? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Well,
But
not
no,
only that,
thank you for bringing that up, dude.
Mhm.
No, you're good, dude. Hey, here's the thing. Let's do this. Where do we want to go here? Because we have a little bit of freedom here. We're almost at we're over an hour and a half total. There's a little bit of bullshit that will get cut out, but we're getting, and then over the next half hour, we're going to hit the 2-hour mark, and I don't want to go too much crazy long. What do we want to hit next?
The one I really wanted to see, I'm sorry. The one I really wanted to see, I got to say it, is they set it up for Flashpoint so nicely.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Batman movie, the original one, Batman vs Superman, we saw Bruce Wayne's father.
Tyler Jeffrey.
Oh,
Jeffrey Dean
oh,
Morgan.
it's yeah.
What?
Jeffrey
No,
Dean Morgan from The Walking Dead.
What's Bruce Wayne's father? Thomas Wayne. Yeah.
Thomas Wayne.
As soon as I saw that, and I knew that they were having Flash, and there was a possibility of Flashpoint, I'm like, I could totally see Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne running around in the bat suit, just shooting people with shotguns and just going crazy with it. And I'm like, yes. And then I watched him play freaking Negan, and I'm like, imagine him in a bat suit doing this. Yes,
exactly.
I wanted that so bad. I'm not gonna lie. I still want that more than anything.
That would be really.
They're
freaking
still
nice.
doing the Flash film is going to be Flashpoint Paradox now,
But
because
will it
they're going to
Jeffrey
be
Dean Morgan?
retconning everything. They're going to be doing.
I mean,
a
as
Days
far
of
as we
Futures
know.
Past.
I hope so.
Yes, like that's what they've officially announced.
Oh, thank
Because
God.
here's
it's still
the thing,
Jeffrey
because
Dean
the
Morgan.
original Flash movie that was going to follow Justice League, bros, I've been into this movie since we first did since we watched the trailer for the first time on the Nerdentials podcast. Like, because we watched the Comic-Con trailer way back in the day, and I was for it even then.
Yeah.
But like, it was going to be a Flash and Cyborg film, and something we need to talk about, because we haven't, is Ray Fisher got did dirty. Cyborg got did dirty. He is the heart and soul of this movie. For the entire plot to work, we need to have it be about Cyborg.
And
I know.
in this version of it.
Yeah, that's totally great. The boom box or the mother box version.
The mother boxes,
yeah. Okay, and like Whedon cut that shit because, like I said earlier, Warner Brothers wanted Wonder Woman to be the face, so they made it be about Wonder Woman because they knew they were getting rid of Cavill, they knew they were getting rid of Affleck, so they made Wonder Woman the forefront. So because of that shit, Ray Fisher, Ezra Miller, and Jason Momoa all did dirty because this was their introduction movie. We had Dawn of Justice, where we got introduced to Batman and Wonder Woman. We had Man of Steel, which was the solo movie. This was supposed to be about Aquaman, Cyborg, and the Flash. Their stories are the meat and potatoes. Especially like the way Silas dies in the Whedon cut versus the way he dies in the Snyder cut, tears down my face because I believe Cyborg crying out and all that shit. That's another thing, dude. This is a strong movie about the bonds of family, and how poignant is that with Snyder doing it? You know, like when it said For Autumn right before the credits, I cried again. No shit. I legitimately started blubbering. I was like,
dude, yeah.
Like it flooded me.
That was Snyder's daughter, for anyone that didn't know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. After all the filming happened, and then his family tragedy, his adopted daughter, Autumn Snyder, lost her life, and he respectfully stepped down to deal with that. It was kind of a stab in the back from Warner Brothers to take what
they used it to get what they wanted out of it, which was the the weed inside.
I honestly almost want to personally boycott the sparkly vampire Batman.
Not me, man, because
Be-
I'm
that
excited.
dude's fucking intense.
So here's
No, I
here's
mean,
the problem.
out of
No,
respect
Nick,
for what
all right.
what we should have had.
Well, I can see him growing up into Ben Affleck's Batman, though. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Here's the thing, like Nick. The only thing here I'll pose this and see if anyone agrees or disagrees. But like,
I disagree already.
On
can I
principle.
pose it, sir? May I pose the thought first?
Strike pose.
Strike a pose. Here, gonna strike the pose real quick. Boom. I just want to say that I can't entirely fault a corporation for making the choices they make purely on a business standpoint because, business, money, all of that is shit. From the personal, individual artist at heart, for the fan, no, all of it's wrong. All of it's bad. If I boycotted Marvel or Disney, let's say Disney, if I boycotted Disney for every bad choice they made, like someone I dearly love who's really good friends with me almost thought about doing, I would be missing out on a lot of other people's creative mindsets. Here's the thing we need to remember as fans of the material. There are 100,000 plus fans. Granted, they work for the corporations, the Disneys, the Comcast, the AT&Ts, the Prime, the Amazons, blah, blah, blah. Those corporations have to employ people. Unfortunately, those people, while creative and beloved in whatever individual things they create, are not always at the discretion of the corporation they are employed by. What sucks about that from a fan standpoint is we have two options. One, we can support and love the creator behind it, regardless of the corporation overhead. And two, we can use polls and opinions like what we got out of the Snyder Cut by begging, pleading for that shit to come to fruition. Will it happen? Will it work all the time? No. But will corporations look at the number of people wanting it and see dollar signs? Yes. Sadly, they will. But we need to use that as fans to our advantage. No, we're never going to agree with corporations. It sucks. That is part of the headline topics. But if we want to support the people creating the shit we love, who don't necessarily get to have a say in it, we need to petition in that respect. So can we say, F you Disney, F you Warner Brothers, F you Fox, F you anything else that's a corporation? Absolutely. We can say that. Is it going to get us what we want? Maybe not. So that's why we have this podcast. That's why we have these discussions. That's why the internet exists. It's to speak our minds, put our foot down on what we love, and hope that these corporations want to see those dollar signs from us. And that's why when we see shady shit, we need to pick and choose where we put our foot down and say, nope, I'm not buying your shit. Because if my friend who said, based on Disney's decision, I'm going to unsubscribe, all you're doing is hurting yourself. My mother-in-law, I love her. I'm glad she doesn't listen to this. But guess what? When she gets wronged by customer service, you know what she says? I'm going to use a quick example. She goes to Target. She gets gypped on $1 discount because it went on sale 3 weeks later. She wants to get that dollar back. Guess what? She goes, ugh, grunt, grunt. I'm boycotting Target. They're not getting my business. And you know what my loving wife gets to say to her mom? They're not going to miss your business, Mom. They're they make billions of dollars a year. They're not going to miss your little boycott. All that to say, let's not rage against the machine, but rather let's promote what we want to see. Yes, I know. I made a punk reference there, Paul. I'm glad you smirked at that. But all I'm saying is let's continue talking about the film. But real quick, do you guys disagree or agree? Because this is an open platform on Nerdentials. I want to hear your opinions. Who wants to rebuttal or agree with what I just said? Let's promote the artist and ease off on the corporations, because at some point we're going to lose these artists if we keep saying fuck you to the corporation. I don't know. Random topic, separate from this film, but just a quick yes or no. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Or we're going to lose artists by supporting these messed up corporations.
That too. There's kind of both sides of that.
It's a mixed bag. I agree. I understand. Nick, hold on real quick. What are you saying real quick? I'm throwing you up here. What are you saying? How are we going to lose artists by saying fuck you to corporations?
I feel just letting it go to the next one is saying it's okay how they screwed over Ray Fisher. It's okay how they screwed over Henry Cavill. It's okay how they screwed over Ben Affleck.
Right.
Let's just go to the next one because it doesn't matter. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that.
Was I? Oh, maybe I said it wrong.
No. I mean, you said you made your point very clearly. I understand what you were saying, but I also see what Nick is saying, because these people did get wronged, and I think Ray Fisher got it the worst out of the three of them, to the point where, like, they fired him from the Flash movie.
Right.
Like, he's out. Like, he's completely out. He had, and the thing that's so shitty about that is he was really good in this movie.
Yeah,
Like genuinely, like, performance wise, he was really a solid actor. And I would love to see what he could continue to do with the character in other things, you know.
Tyler, before I rebuttal, I hear a coming from you, sir.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, speaking of the Ray Fisher and Cyborg and everything, who ends up playing? Have you seen Doom Patrol? That series when it was out for
DC? The first episode.
It's a different actor.
I was like, they had another. I was gonna say, what was up with that whole thing? Was it just licensing right issues, or what with that?
DC has two different worlds. They have their TV world and they have their movie world, and that's why. And they have more success in the TV world than they do in the movie world. Like,
yeah, but it's almost like there's like two TV worlds almost like now, because there's like the Arrowverse DC universe, and then there's like Doom Patrol and Titans and all these other new things.
I think they call it the CW verse.
Yeah.
Hold on. I know Nick knows more than I do, but let me throw this out there. Something I'll just quickly add that could be saved for a different episode. Continuity, Paul, and speaking to you, Tyler, regarding that. Yeah, they've always kept it separate for a very long time. And I don't know what reason it was, the success of Wonder Woman, first Wonder Woman, or what, but Warner Brothers opened up their doors for doing a multiverse crossover during the CW finale of the last set of seasons, which was last year. Mm-hmm. They were doing a big, huge story arc called Crisis, or we know from the big comic books, Crisis on Infinite Earths, or there's two different ones, but. And I know Tyler knows what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where on the CW, they brought in old cast, the Dean Cain, Terry Hatcher from the 90s of Superman and Lois. They brought in Smallville cast. They brought in everyone from the CW, and even brought in the specific thing I'm thinking of right now. They brought in the Flash from the movies.
Yeah, Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
Ezra Miller. They brought him in for that 5-episode crossover, and that was really cool. That was the first time last year, that Warner Brothers and the network CW said, yeah, this seems to be a thing that fans like. We're going to do a multiverse crossover, and we're going to acknowledge that the movies exist by throwing in this guy, like throwing in this version of Flash into the CW. That was cool. We're not going to talk about that right now. I'm just saying that, up until now, they've always been closed off. And Disney tried doing that about 8 years ago by doing the S.H.I.E.L.D., the show. Yeah. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And Agent Carter.
Yeah.
You don't forget Agent Carter, yeah.
Yeah, no, they tried connecting the movies directly. It wasn't doing good, so they quickly started separating, so not to repeat this, Warner Brothers CW shit. But guess what? Now that Disney owns them and we got Disney Plus, they're heavily incorporating it. And that's a whole nother episode too. We'll talk about that another time. Like Marvel's getting back on board with connecting TV streaming to movie. That's happening. That's a separate thing. Warner Brothers might be getting a little bit of that itch and understanding, but again, they're always behind Marvel. It sucks.
And they're
Let's
always
get back
trying to play catch up. They're always trying to play catch up, and that's the problem. Like I've been thinking a lot about this actually, and I would love to hear other people's thoughts about why.
Go ahead, throw it out there.
Why do you guys think Marvel is more successful than DC, like than the DCEU was? For me, I think it has to do with tone. The DCEU, the Snyderverse, as it's been coined now, was for adults. Like it was for grown-up comic book fans who wanted to see shit get blown up, and they wanted to have their kind of their morals questioned and shit. Like there's a lot of ambiguity in the DCEU. It's like, are these people like who's bad? Like they're constantly questioning that. Like, is Superman a good guy? Is he overstepping his bounds? Like all that kind of stuff. Those are the questions that they asked in the DC films. Whereas in the Marvel films, everything is black and white. It's cut and dry. It's like, oh no, Thanos is wrong. It's like,
Is he
yeah,
though?
but exactly. They don't let you go. Yeah, but Cap tries it in Endgame. He goes, "Oh, I saw a pod of whales in the Hudson," and Black Widow's like, "No, this is the worst thing ever." Like they don't let you ask those questions. And it's sanitized. It's clean. That is personally. That's why I think Marvel is more successful. They appeal to a broader audience, whereas the DCU is like, yes, please.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, Marvel also had a jump start. Two has been able to take their time to do it, whereas DC got into it late. And while not too late, but they've had to do a lot of catch up. So everything that they're doing is 2 steps behind Marvel, who's already done it, and they've been doing it, and they keep doing it because it's a banger. It's pretty much the same scenario every fucking time. You know what's going to happen.
It's a timeline
thing. It works. And yeah, it's a timeline thing. So they've already been there, whereas DC's like, oh no, we got to scramble. We got to get this working. We got to throw all these people in here so that way we can just do this after. We'll start with Avengers, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I know they didn't start with Avengers, or their Avengers.
Did because
but yeah, they basically did.
Because Man of Steel was not meant to set up an extended universe. Man of Steel was meant to be like the response to the Dark Knight trilogy. It was like, oh, let's do that with Superman. Let's make Superman realistic and gritty.
Yeah. It was all, and they're also just like, let's actually have Superman throw a punch for once, because like we've all seen like the Christopher Reeve Supermans. Like there's hardly any really action going on for the majority of those old movies. And same even with the Superman Returns. It's just like his big thing is he flies around the world.
He saved a plane
and has a kid.
Yeah, and he has.
Yeah,
but yeah, exactly. So we saw an action-packed Superman for once.
Yeah.
And then we were gonna get a Man of Steel 2, and we were like, oh, that's cool. And we all thought we were gonna get a Batman cameo. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We thought we were just gonna get a cameo.
Just a cameo in the second.
And then they were like, no, we're making a new Batman movie, which in my opinion is one of the best Batman movies that was made.
Honestly, I would have liked it better if they did do the Man of Steel 2 first with the cameo leading up to it. I thought that would have been great.
Would have been way better.
Yeah.
It would have been amazing if they would have had a full thing where they actually had Robin die and explain that suit in the Batman versus Superman.
Especially
that would have been amazing.
With the crowbar. I would have loved to see that.
It would have been an awesome standalone film. It would have had some tragedy to it. It would have been very different to the Batman.
I just want to see my favorite Robin get beat with a crowbar. That's what I want.
I think that was Warner Brothers, and that was DC's biggest mistake. They had a slip. If they had leaned into the darker, more adult aspects of it, I think they would have had success. I do. Because like Wonder Woman's a fairly dark film as well.
Yeah.
You know, it deals with some. Yeah, it ends up by the third act, it gets the samey as every other comic book movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but but like it deals with some dark subject matter and war and the consequences of it. Again, questions being asked. She's coming into this and she's like, "Wait, why are there good guys and bad guys when you're both killing each other?" Like that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Morals,
Yeah.
ambiguity, questions. Like they're films. God, I feel like I sound so stupid when I say it, but like I feel like they are movies for grown-ups.
Yeah.
I love the
They
Marvel
are.
movies, but like I
Yeah.
shut my brain off for those.
I'm sorry. You're completely correct, and even in the comic books, they're that way. You
Mhm.
think about it. You look in the comic books. The Marvel things have always addressed social things happening. Like they addressed the Vietnam War, stuff like that. Big things happening when it was happening.
Yeah.
DC has always addressed life.
Yep.
Um,
Death of the family, death in the family.
Speedy's heroin addiction,
Yes.
Yeah.
and
Lots of real topics.
Abusive
addressing
parents.
stuff like that was so crazy, and people didn't expect it. But that's what
Domestic
made
violence was also
yeah.
explored in DC way more in the
Yeah.
comic books than it was in Marvel.
that's what made DC so easy to relate to, because it actually
Accessible.
It was real.
these heroes had life that happened. It wasn't always capes and underwear over your tights.
Mm-hmm.
What are some highlights that we can talk about to compare what we wished we had seen before, but we see now, like in this cut? What are some good things? Because I didn't do an outline for this, but I know you guys are good at on the fly thinking, a lot of you. So, anyone want to speak up on a point of the movie that we should talk about next?
It's not a Batman movie without bat nipples.
Disagree.
Interesting topic.
I'm
Go.
joking.
No, I know.
I'm out.
Go.
You guys, I'm done.
Release the Schumacher cut.
I am going to get some water. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
All right, you're fine.
The
No.
Schumacher cut would be different.
We'll wait if it gets saucy, but like, does anyone have any points in the?
What
I got something that can bring us back in that I know we haven't discussed.
Please,
Oh, shit.
Tyler, bring it on.
We haven't even hit John Jones.
Oh shit!
That's something we haven't like even hit at all. The fact that they released Martian Manhunter.
Jean?
Oh.
Okay,
like,
sir,
Right.
that right there
You're right.
justifies the green screen.
Right.
We're gonna get real for a minute. Sorry.
I'll say we haven't even talked about the fact.
on this one.
Well, I just was excited the fact that they had him be in there, and they may had him be someone that's been in it since Man of Steel too. It's if you notice, it's actually the general from Man of Steel.
Harry Lennox.
He's
Yes,
which
that was cool.
if you really get into the whole detail, which is really cool, the Justice League of America, when they did their run, they did their own thing with John Jones being the leader of theirs, and it's pretty much the government's Justice League that they designed to kill the actual Justice League if shit went down. And they have
What's it
the
called?
Martian Manhunter as their Superman killer.
In Supergirl,
Justice League of America?
No, the agency they work for. Supergirl introduced it in the CW series.
DEO.
The DEO, yeah, where they take care of alien threats. And they mentioned that too, and I was like, oh, that's never been in the movies. So they're actually making a reference to that too. Yeah, so go on. Who dude, Tyler. Sorry, Paul. Go ahead, say something real quick.
That was a really beautiful scene. Like, it was a really beautiful moment between Martha and Lois, and you're like, this is really poignant and sweet, versus the fucking scene in the Whedon cut where she's like, oh, he always said you were the thirstiest young reporter. Wait, and it's just like, really? We got a fucking thirsty joke? But we had a really beautiful moment between Martha and Lois, and then all of a sudden, it's Martian Manhunter, and he's like, you know, you
like,
need to
"Wait,
be out.
what?"
We need you too, Lois. Like, I literally screamed out loud in my apartment. Like, it happened. They show him, and I go, "Oh!" I was like, "Ah!" You know.
Did you say Martha?
I know, I was like, wait,
Why did you
what?
say that name?
As soon as I saw that, I instantly hit like, go back 15 seconds. I have to rewatch this.
Right? It was such a great moment.
It was freaking.
And it was planned from the first time, dude. Fucking Zack Snyder knew that was going to be Martian Manhunter from the very first time he brought him in. He had it
That's
set
crazy.
up that like, and here's the thing. Back when, so before we actually got the Snyder Cut, when everyone was just tweeting about it, and they were like, "Oh, the Snyder Cut doesn't exist. You fanboys." And he was like releasing storyboards for scenes.
Oh, Vero. Vero
Yeah,
was
on
the social
Vero.
media site.
On Vero.
that
Yeah, exactly.
He took over. He started throwing shit up there.
And exactly. And the thing he storyboarded when we found out that Martian Manhunter was supposed to be there was like the way he described it is like, oh, it's a moment between Martha and Lois, and then it turns into Martian Manhunter. And when you look at the storyboard, you're like, that doesn't really make sense. I don't really understand what you're saying, Burt Reynolds. But then you see it on screen, like actually done, and you're like, oh my God. Like, that's the other thing about this. They kept trying to tell us the Snyder Cut didn't exist. Kevin Smith was one of the people who's like, the fucking Snyder Cut exists. I've seen it. You know?
Love Kevin Smith.
I love Kevin Smith. But like, absolutely, like, it's just fucking. And then that ending scene where he comes down to fucking visit Bruce.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So that was like just this little moment where you're just like, thank you.
Yes. It was an excellent thing, and just the fact that they have him as the general, and it's set up to where like he could very easily be the actual like leader of a Justice League of America variant, to where like it could have continued on. It could have been past the whole dark side thing. We could have went into a Trinity War even with that. Which that would have been
the thing about
beautiful.
the Snyder Cut that's sad is it really could have opened up the world of the DC comics.
Mm-hmm.
And it could have been this amazing thing. Like, there was so many seeds planted. Like, I read something that so we see that pregnancy kit. I read something that said that baby was gonna be the next Batman. Like, he was gonna be Bruce Kent. Like, they were setting that shit up too, man. Like, it's all pipe dream shit now, but it's like, what in the like, this is so different than what comic book movies are, you know? I love Snyder, man. I think he's a total auteur, and I think he's a visionary. He gets shit on so much, and I don't understand why. I really don't. People are like, oh, like, because one of the things I see a lot is people being like, oh, well, if you took all the slow-mo out, it'd only be 2 hours long. Ha, ha, ha. You, man. You don't know there's going to be slow motion in a Zack Snyder movie?
Yeah, right.
Go yourself, man. Like, go yourself. Seriously. You don't know it's going to be there? I got into it. I talked to this one dude on Facebook, and he said, like, oh, there was. I don't remember slow-mo in Dawn of the Dead. I go, then go back and rewatch it.
Right? Not only that, but telling him to take slow-mo out is a lot like saying, hey, Michael Bay, stop putting explosions in your movies.
Exactly.
Not to mention, he does handle slow-mo a lot better than, like, say, the Wachowskis did with the Matrix.
Yeah.
Different kind of slow-mo, though. Bullet time.
Yeah. Like,
oh, man. And then, like, I'm looking at this trailer stuff, and it's just, like, Jason Momoa got so f***ed over by the, like, I liked Jason Momoa fine in the Whedon cut. Like, I liked Brockwman, you know? But, like, he was dark in this movie. Like, and those moments where he's, like, sticking up for Cyborg, he's like, he just watched his dad die. No, he's not okay, and shit like that. You're like, damn, dude. Aquaman's like, he cares.
Yeah.
Curry cares.
Yeah, they added a lot of
you
depth to
brought
his
it up.
character.
There he is.
No, I would 100% be down if they just continued this as like HBO Max specials.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, are you going through the actual movie now?
Yeah, he is. Oh, I love that reach around line though that the Joker gives. Who's gonna give you a reach around?
Oh no, the whole thought of like, as long as you hold this card, we'll have a truce.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe he said that. Actually,
Well, and not only that, but he said the thing from Killing Joke where he's like, "You're not gonna kill me. You need me. I'm your best friend."
that was epic.
That one moment there was better than the Killing Joke.
I'm a little late here,
talk
but
about that. The movie.
we're in full spoilers. Sorry, Ryan. If you don't want to see this, look away.
But
I'm showing
two shits about
they did a
spoilers.
really good shot here of Martian Manhunter. Like, he was fully detailed, fully CG. It was really good.
Yeah, he does. Oh, look at that handsome
dude. He's such a perfect Wayne. Such a perfect Bruce Wayne.
That's what I was saying.
So
Dude,
good.
look at that. Do you see this? Like the empathy in his eyes.
Yeah,
that's even better.
Look at that.
That's even better than they do on the CW. Granted, that's TV, but like, they spent the time to make, like, Zack Snyder wanted this scene to matter, and so they spent the money to get that CG right here. Dude, it's so good. Yeah,
I love the detail.
Oh man. Anyway,
I'm seriously lost. I was lost in his eyes. Like, I shit you not, dude. I was lost in Ben Affleck's eyes right there.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's like, he's like hot. Like, oh man.
Yeah, waiting for him to go.
I gotta turn my camera off.
Right here, Paul. You want to see it again? There it is.
Dude, he's dreaming.
Look at that, man.
Look at that jawline.
Like, oh, Ben Affleck's a shitty Batman. Have you his jawline alone made him worthy of the fucking cowl?
Like, he's got
We're all talking about it.
mug right here. He's got the perfect mug for it.
It's so true, dude. Like,
boom, right there.
He's
bony jawline.
He's fucking Frank Miller's Batman in reality. He is.
And those sad eyes with everything else.
So sad.
It's Italian. It's molto bene.
Yeah. So good.
Molto bene.
Anyway.
All right,
another point, guys. What's another?
I just want to talk really quickly about the music. Junkie XL had his day to shine with this because we all like Danny Elfman's music, but his Justice League score was a piss poor attempt to recapture like all this youth. Like, hey, remember I did the Batman theme? It's like, yeah, dude, you did the Batman theme. That's fucking cool. But now you're also reusing the Superman theme. Like, just Junkie XL had these, and Hans Zimmer, who we worked with, had these amazing fucking scores set to this. And then we got to fucking hear them in this movie, and it changes things. The music in this movie changed the scenes. Aquaman walking into the water, and in the Whedon cut, it's to Icky Thump. So it's,
they changed it. Yeah, they changed it, dude. Ooh.
And then in the Whedon, and then in the fucking Snyder cut, it's this. I don't know the song, but it's like this epic moment. It's this sweeping moment where he's like lost in his thought, and they have this beautiful shot where they linger on his face before it cuts to behind, and it's the warning sign about the fucking wave and the storm. And you're just like, this is a fucking movie made by an artist. You know, there's love in every single frame of that movie. Like, that's just what it is. There's just love in all of it.
Yeah, dude.
Another little reference I really loved from the Nightmare verse that we were watching, and where everyone's at the end with the Joker and everything. Mm-hmm. The part where I just had it.
It's way later in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, the Joker part? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a part. I was just going to say it. I'm losing my train of thought here, but
talking about the Joker, right?
Not exactly. It's the Nightmare verse, and
in the previous cut,
like in this whole universe,
Right.
I was trying to say something. I lost my train of thought on that.
Think about it.
Yeah, I'll just get back to you on that one.
It's all good.
Keep thinking of that one.
Now,
I'm trying to remember too because they did exclude a lot from this full version. Remember the apocalypse, or am I misplacing the movie? Did they show some of this in Batman v Superman, or was all of this it in Batman v Superman?
Batman v Superman had a very significant nightmare sequence where we see the world we see the world with the parademons. We see them under Superman's rule. His arm guards are wearing a symbol.
Right. Yeah.
And they have Superman rips out Clark's or fucking Bruce's heart. And then Flash comes in, and that's when he's like, "Am I too early? Oh, I'm too soon, man." I just watch these. That's why I know this stuff. I just rewatched them in preparation.
That's what it is. There's so many different parts because there's that part where Superman's coming in, and it's almost like he's becoming. It's almost like the Injustice storyline where he's like world regime Superman, or
that's
or
what
like
they were gonna do.
And
that is what they were gonna do.
And
we're talking about this scene here.
Yeah, and they also accent it nicely with like a little bit of Blackest Night because of the whole Mara part. When the one part that Amber Heard's like actually talking in the freaking movie, like really, but
limited, but yeah, it's there.
Was she talking about Arthur being dead?
Yeah, Arthur being dead. In the Blackest Night comic book line, that's the case, and she uses that to harness a Red Lantern ring, and she freaking gets deputized in the Red Lanterns, and she freaking brutals up a storm.
Interesting, dude.
Yeah, she actually goes up against a Black Lantern, Arthur Curry, all undead and zombified, and she flat out uses her rage, and she's like, "I fucking hated you," and she just rips him apart. Like damn, not like verbatim, but
yeah, and that's a cool reference though. You're talking about
just like, what do you know of hate and everything, where she's getting all angry and everything during that. And,
yeah, dude.
And then she like says that exact line to Atrocitus.
Dude, you're speaking my lingo. I love a lot of Green Lanterns graphic novels, so like I know about the Red Lanterns and the different colors. I didn't know that part about the mirror part though. That's different to me, dude. I wasn't aware.
Night's so confusing. Like there's a part where they all get a deputy, and it's weird because Green Lantern's the only one that does something kind of logical, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna make Gambit a Green Lantern," and another like a little Owen guy, and then everyone else would pick someone really weird. It's like Wonder Woman gets the Love Lantern ring, Scarecrow gets a Fear ring because he's like the only one around at the time that can really do that.
Which later goes to Batman.
I was gonna say, yeah,
we're getting into the weeds on that, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's Lex Luthor gets an Orange Lantern ring from Larfleeze, and they're like, if they fight over it and stuff, it gets ridiculous because they're both greedy.
Dude, are you talking about real quick just to make a reference to it? Are we talking about
Blackest Night?
Blackest Night? Yeah, this right here.
Yeah,
Blackest Night.
Yeah, there's a whole point where they all the Lantern Corps deputize an element, and the Blue Lantern's game put Flash as a Lantern.
Yeah, so dude, this is a whole comic book series we're showing right here. But I've read quite a bit of this. Yeah, it's a deep freaking saga, dude.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
but
cool.
Really, it's got some dark, brutal parts to it.
Another thing we haven't talked about with the movie that has not been addressed that is actually very important.
Oh, go on.
A rated R rating.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Did it?
Nick, did not Ray Fisher drop the first F-bomb?
It deserved it. There's moments of visceral, just
like gore,
mutilation.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Sorry, not to cut anyone off. I just want to address what Nick said. Nick, are you saying? Do you remember what was the first F-bomb? Because I think it was Ray Fisher, Cyborg. Didn't he drop the first F-bomb when talking to Diana,
I think so.
Wonder Woman? I heard him say that. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. What kind of is this R? I guess, but like PG-13 does just
4 F-bombs total.
Yeah, and I heard all of them. I thought that after the first one I heard, I was like, oh shit. All right, yeah, this is the dark, almost totally adult version we wanted. But and then you guys say some of it's of the gore is just. I don't know. I guess it's enough to hold up, Paul.
Sorry.
Okay, no, I was just to respond to you, Paul. I think it's enough to push it past PG-13. I guess as far as violence.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that? Because it's not as
it's more, but I don't.
It's not Deadpool. It's not Deadpool violence.
It isn't Deadpool, but like there is a flat out apart in the Atlantean when he's taking the Atlantean mother box. Steppenwolf flat out cuts an Atlantean in half, and you see him separate.
I saw the bodies separate. It was so brief.
Like in the water. I remember. I was just like,
I will say one thing.
Oh, I was like, whoa, what the?
Because the F-bomb is so ingrained in my own vocabulary, I didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, it's okay. Like, I know. I noticed it because I look for that, especially when we're talking superhero films.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, how many times are they going to use this that it would justify an R rating? Paul, did you have anything insight to add to that?
To the R rating?
The R rating, yeah, sure.
Not particularly. I mean, I didn't think it was. As I was watching, I was like, really, this got that R? It didn't seem that much more gory or violent
than a PG-13.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
That moment where Wonder Woman saves they have the Wonder Woman introduction scene, and then she blows up the dude with her fisticuffs.
Okay, that was a little. That was dark, but I don't.
Yeah, like that. They cut it really quickly in the PG-13 one in the week.
Even wasn't that long. It didn't linger.
But it also showed that Wonder Woman just killed the guy.
It did. That part's true. Yeah.
Like Wonder Woman just killed the dude.
In an hour and 18 minutes, we will have beaten the Snyder cut.
Hey, we're close. We're close. Hey, let's play that whole experience right here. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the bomb that exploded beforehand.
Okay. So in the Whedon cut, she just throws it out from the room right above this one. In the Snyder version, she jumped all the way out and then lands back in.
That's what we're looking at right now, and he's about to try to shoot all these people. Right after he reloads here,
bullets.
He's got to reload or pick. He's going to pick up the automatic.
Okay, and then all right. Dude, I'm such a fucking nerd. So in the Whedon cut, they show that he has it set to one bullet, and then in the Snyder cut,
right here, click
switching it. Yep, and then they're going to show
slow mo. He's going to switch it. Yeah.
Yep. So it happens.
Watch right here. He takes a second. And he's like full auto. Bam.
Exactly. And in the yeah.
Sorry, no, not to interrupt you, dude. I thought she was gonna miss one because I was like, oh, is Zach gonna get really dark and Wonder Woman's angst is gonna be because she lost someone? But no,
I'm not gonna lie, I would have loved that.
That would have been
I thought it was gonna happen, but at the same time, I was like, okay, right there, boom, skips the bullet. I was like, okay, she's gonna show badass. And the one thing a lot of people comment is this version of Wonder Woman is a Wonder Woman that takes no names, waits for nothing. She makes shit happen.
She kills Steppenwolf. She cuts his head off in this version. In the Whedon version, she sits by as the parademons kill Steppenwolf.
Boom, right there. Boom. There's the violent. And we see his hat. We see the guy's hat. That's what tells us, he got smoked from that explosion, right?
Eviscerated.
Right there. There's the hat. Boom, he's gone. And my wife was like, why did she do that? Did she blow up everyone? I was like, no, damn it.
She had it controlled.
Boom. She controlled it, pushed it out away from everyone behind her. So
I'm just going to say something that I think is controversial. I think they could have cut that entire scene. I think because I like how it opens up with Superman dying, and then the Amazonian one. We see the mother boxes activate, and then it focuses on the Amazonians and their protecting of the mother box. I think they could have completely avoided showing us Wonder Woman until her mother launches the arrow.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because
you're not wrong.
Like when you're watching, what could they have cut? What could they have cut? You know,
we could always take this movie and make our own cut.
We could. It's out there. Cut. We got the 4 hours. We could. That'd be crazy. But
put things where we want them to be.
The fan edit.
Yep, the fan edit.
The fan edit. I'm sure we'll see those within days. I'm sure we'll see some of those if we look for them. Here's how I would have made the 2 hour cut. You know, we're going to see a lot of that. Okay. Are there any other highlights or big points that anyone wants to make? Because I know Ryan made the joke. We're an hour and something away from the Snyder cut on this podcast. Know how
40 minutes passed by so quick, because I swear to God, I just looked at the clock and it was 2:05. Now it's 2:46.
I don't know how that happened either. And honestly, we reviewed a scene that happened only 25 minutes into the movie too. Yeah. We just looked at the 25-minute mark. Let's throw around the table. The quick. How was the pacing for everyone? Paul, since I see in the corner there, how did the pacing of this 4 hours sit with you from a fan standpoint?
It flew by. It did. It flew by.
Did you feel at any point when was your first? I got to get up and pee. Did it happen at all?
I stopped it at the 3 hour mark because I was too tired. Because I started it at midnight, and then at 3 a.m. I was like, you know what? I need to go to bed. It was Superman had just been resurrected. I was like, this is a good place where I can go to bed. I also want to apologize because I feel like I'm one of the reasons this recording has gone so long, because I just and I keep hijacking.
You can't take the weight of that, dude. There's five of us here. You can't take the weight of that.
It's all good, bro.
I want to throw this out there to everyone real quick around the table. Paul just said his. I got a follow-up question to what he just said regarding the length of this, but Ryan, I'm going to throw it over to you real quick. You, sir, when was your intermission? Well, granted, I know you had an actual intermission because of interruption.
I'm in my intermission.
Yeah,
I'm waiting to get back to it.
Not to put you on the spot, did you feel like you needed to stop when you had to?
Let's put it this way. I watched through the entirety of the 90s miniseries of The Stand without taking a break.
That's 4 plus
6.5 hours.
Yeah.
So, this is nothing to me. This has gone just fine.
Let me rephrase that. Was there any point where you felt like you should stop or wanted to, regardless of length? Really. The pacing for you?
Because I actually had to.
Right.
I honestly would have sat through that entire thing, to be honest. I was enjoying it.
All right.
I cannot wait till this is over. Not because I don't want to be with you guys.
No, you want to finish. Here, real quick. All right. Second up, let me throw this over to Tyler real quick. Tyler, you watched the whole thing. How's the thing for you? When did you feel like you need to just take a break, if at all?
I really didn't, honestly. It's like sitting just reading through that whole comic book after comic book. It was really smooth, and it didn't have any really like dull, slow parts. It had very good story building parts, very good action, like spaced out at very good, like appropriate spaced times, so that it like got you back into it right when you needed that little bit of like mental visual stimulation and stuff. And I thought it was a very good, solid run all the way through. I mean, I could see it easily being too much for some people just because it's 4 hours movie. But
yeah,
weakness disgusts me.
Yeah.
Hey, last but not least, before I pipe in, Nicholas, how was the pacing for you? Was there a moment where you needed to pause in the film? out of a need to like I gotta take a piss, whatever. Like
I am a human camel. No,
damn, son.
I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound ridiculous, because I wanted to catch everything, and I was so enthralled with the movie. The day it came out, I got my food, I sat down on the couch, and I binge watched it 3 times in a row before I got up.
Jeez.
That's more commitment to me. I watched the Whedon.
Are you
cut
serious?
And the
I
Snyder
am
cut
serious as a heart
back to
attack. I watched it 3
Sorry,
times.
Paul. I didn't talk over Paul, but I had to verify. Like, I believe Nick 99% of the time, but like in this moment when he says 3 times, I'm like, really? Just as like a double take.
12 hours, man. People do that shit all the time with other TV shows.
Well, yeah. How often do I come back to you and you're like, Nick, what have you watched? And I list off 4 entire series that I finished in a week.
Nick. Hold on, real quick. Hold on.
Sleep?
Hold on.
I don't. I'm an insomniac.
Okay.
Nick.
Sleep is for the weak.
I bow to you, sir, on the endurance, whether your choice or not. I just say props. Like, okay, damn. Okay. So, pacing wise, I just need a brief, the whole opinion talking around here is, pacing, because that's what we're talking about real quick.
Like I said, the only problem I had with the pacing was the little, like, almost intermission little breaks right between each piece. It felt like that was unneeded. It was just dead time. But I know
upon 3 viewings in a row, that you'd probably be the only one qualified to make that assessment, since you saw it 3 times. You've now had 3 separate energy levels through those viewings. Right? Okay, real quick. Lastly, I'll say this. I'd say for me, the pacing, I was glued through to the whole end. I only paused for a pee break on a personal note, a little over the 2.5 hour mark. It was right before the Superman resurrection, and I was like, oh, shit. I've heard similar feelings online, but like I didn't think I'd pause it at that, right before that next chapter. I was a little
subconscious thing. It was a subconscious reaction because you read about it, so your body reacted that way.
Damn it, Paul. Damn it.
That's why you got to go in blind to things.
I
hardly watch movie trailers anymore because they give away too much.
I know. I agree.
Yep.
Like,
shame on me.
Mechagodzilla is going to be the big baddie in King Kong versus
I
Godzilla.
called it before they even released that. I was like, I guarantee he's going to be
the first shot of the trailer.
I was going to say there's a half second. There's a half second image of, and Nick knows this. He brought it up to me. Yeah,
Dude,
there's a half second. Anyway,
the argument at Phil's house.
That was great.
But I'm not wrong.
Okay.
You were.
No one's wrong in this.
It was always
like
on your
just to
side
wrap
of
up.
Anyway, continue your point, Joe. Sorry.
No, you're fine, dude. The pacing was incredible. All I'll say, and I think a lot of us agree that fan or deep fan or mild fan, regardless, I think the pacing was so well done that it was shocking that 4 hours did go by as quickly as it did, even though we all love what we were watching, and I think that helps a little bit, but the pacing was incredible. It was long. There were 6 chapters broken up, and that was a little bit of a Tarantino feel when taking a movie and saying chapter 1. Like me and Amy just finished watching The Hateful Eight and the what was the
that's another 3-hour movie that people sat through.
What was the other one? What was the other one with the 7?
Magnificent Seven?
The Magnificent Seven, The Hateful Eight. Me and Amy, in the span of one weekend, watched both of those. They were both almost 3 hours each. They were both set.
Question: are you talking about Tarantino movies back to back?
Yeah, Tarantino.
Inglourious Bastards.
Inglourious Bastards and Django Unchained.
No, okay,
all long.
My bad. Tango Unchained,
Django,
and the last one, was it The Hateful Eight, where they're all stuck in a blizzard?
Yeah, it's all on that. What was it?
My bad. Okay, I did the other 2 I hadn't watched. We watched Django Unchained,
Django Unchained,
Django Unchained with Jamie Foxx. Django Unchained with Jamie Foxx
Yeah.
and the Hateful Eight with Jeff Bridges and a wonderful cast of other characters that I was
Kurt
with.
Kurt Russell, not Jeff Bridges. Kurt Russell.
Okay, really quick.
God
I want to
damn
pitch
it,
something
I'm-
here.
In the wrong setting here. What?
I want Quentin Tarantino to make a superhero movie now. I want Quentin Tarantino to make a super movie really bad.
He's threatened to do
however
a
he wants to do
sci-fi nerdy film. I don't know about hero films, but
I think he'd do fucking
I have
hilarious.
actually sent him ideas.
You know what would be?
I've emailed him
Yeah.
that I've emailed Quentin Tarantino saying, "Hey, this is what you need to do. You need to get Kurt Russell, and you need to make your own rendition of another Snake Plissken in his later years."
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Better.
Yes.
He needs to get Jeff Bridges, and he needs to do his version of the Rocketeer.
Oh my
Ow,
god, that was
scratch me.
adorable.
That was adorable.
That
Yeah.
was adorable.
Tarantino version of the Rocketeer. Get Jeff
I'd watch
Bridges.
that.
No, wait, was it Jeff Bridges or Kurt Russell who did that one?
Rocketeer?
Yeah,
Really?
Was it?
dude.
I
No.
know a weird
That was- that
Patreon
was- that was-
tangent that I need to
That was
correct.
big that was big 90s actor Billy Zane.
Billy Zane, yeah.
What? The Rocketeer?
No, you're wrong. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
The Rocketeer.
You're thinking of the Phantom.
No. Rocketeer. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, we just saw him.
I'm tired.
The Rocketeer was played by
I'm just gonna
Barry Allen's dad in the Snyder Cut.
Billy Campbell.
That's a
Billy Campbell. It's not Billy Crudup. It's Billy.
It
Campbell.
is Billy Campbell. I'm looking it up right now.
I do love Billy Zane though.
1991.
2 years
I don't
before
know
I
what
was
movie I'm
born.
thinking of that.
Jennifer Connelly was the love interest.
I don't
I
know.
do
what
love Jennifer Connelly.
No, you're right. You're right.
Timothy Dalton, aka Old School 007, was in this one too. All right,
That's
guys,
the shortest
here,
lived.
Okay, now we
we're
gotta finish.
flying so far off the radar here.
This is the best.
Let's
What are
pull
you
back
talking
to
about?
the group.
They actually
No,
talked to
it- we're-
Quentin Tarantino about doing a Star Trek.
I'd watch
It's
that.
supposedly
That's
back
the
on
reference
track.
I was making. I
Back on
said,
track, you
hey,
mean?
Yeah,
There's
it's
been
supposedly back
talk.
on track. No, it's
Back on
supposedly
track.
back on track.
back on
okay.
Back on track.
breaking
Back on
news
track.
here. If you're in the Patreon version and you've made it to the 2 hour, 59 minute, and 10-second mark, you just heard it here first. Okay, hold on.
I should
We're
get
at
a
the
prize
3 hour
out for
mark,
them
guys.
making
We
it
need
this
to
far.
we need to get like
You gotta cut
Conclu-
stuff with your kids. So don't worry.
I know. Well, but that's not going to dismiss the other 2.5 hours of gold that we've all put down here. Come on, I can't believe you guys are talking to me at 1:30
Oh, no,
a.m.
I love
nearly.
Right.
I know,
This is
right?
why we
Come
do
back
this.
for
We
more.
do this for the bullshit.
Same thing with
I don't
her.
need cocaine. I just need to talk about movies.
Right? We
Then
just need to
come
talk
back
about
more
our
often, Paul. The
hobbies.
invitation is
Invite
open.
me. Yeah, you
Video
have
I
to
will.
games are
tell
more
me.
my thing, but
will.
I definitely love movies.
Movies.
Paul, we are trying to come back every single weekend, either Saturday or Sunday night, depending on what works for everyone, every weekend.
All right.
That's the goal. That's the
Okay.
goal.
No,
This is
actually-
episode 103, by the way. I know you guys haven't seen 101 and
You are-
102.
You are talking about a hero movie with Quentin Tarantino. Sorry, I had to get off top of it. He has written something that would be fantastic. He wrote a Django Zorro crossover.
Ooh.
They made it into a comic book, didn't they?
Yes.
I bet there's a comic book
I'd
prior
watch
to
the
this.
shit out of
And
that.
it's Django. The D is silent.
Yeah, Nicholas,
Get
come
that
on.
later.
If we're going to talk along that lines of it, and we're going to do a Quentin Tarantino, I would like to see him do his own rendition of All Star Western or Jonah Hex, if you don't know who that is.
Oh, no. DC tried. Whatever.
I was going to say they
Yeah,
tried,
but
and I
Quentin
was
Tarantino
going
could
to
do
say
it
like
better.
Quentin Tarantino could do it.
If anyone could do that Western, it'd be Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay, where do
All
we-
Star Western's a good one.
Boys,
The boys.
Shall
Let's talk
we-
about the boys?
find a way to wrap
Boys.
up our
Back to
boys
the boys.
conversation with said epic on HBO Max. Can we find away.
Do closing thoughts and wrap it up there.
Let's do that, guys. Here we go. Center fold here. Boom. Sorry, I don't know why I said that.
Centerfold.
Because I put myself in the middle here between all the
Paint like one of your
screens.
French girls, Jack.
Freaky and centerfold.
Wearing this.
Someone is Freudian.
This might guys, I'm gonna leave in like 90. I'm not joking, 98.5. 98.5%. Nope, 98.5. Not 98 degrees. Shut up, Nick Shea. Doing 98.5% of this damn recording is gonna be actually on YouTube.
Nice.
Most of it,
Very nice.
a good chunk of it, because me, I don't have time to edit this.
Yeah, and you better not let Warner Brothers get to you, man.
I know, man.
No.
Stand up for what?
Nope.
Stand for your vision.
Yeah, stand up for the vision. Release the Nerdentials cut.
Release the Nerdentials.
Yeah,
Release.
I like the feelings. I like the
Yeah.
thoughts behind that.
We call it the tweet and cut, but no matter which version you do, it's still the tweet and cut.
Yeah.
Tweet and Whedon. Oh my god.
Right?
Oh my god, I can't believe you just said that, Paul. I'm going to cut to the greatest moments here in the film. They're going to be random. They're going to be great moments while we wrap up. Boom. Here we go. Yeah, there's Mother. There's Mama.
Speaking
Sorry,
of Mama, I
not-
want to Dread 2 already, goddammit.
You want to drag of that? You want
No,
to
he
drag
said
of that, Mama?
drag it
There's got to
two.
do. Oh,
I
wait.
want Dread
Oh.
2. I
Oh.
miss my
I
Dread.
also want Dread too.
with Carl Urban. Yeah.
Oh, yes. How about
Mama is
Melissa?
not the law.
So check this out.
I
In the
am the
Whedon
law.
cut, she just knows everything. And that bothered the shit out of me. In this one, it shows her doing the research of being like, oh, so this is what happened.
Yeah, Diana.
It's
You talking
actual
about Diana?
character development.
Well,
I
look at this.
know.
Right here, there's talking. There's talking in this scene.
Well, here's the thing.
They're back and
They,
forth.
they addressed that Diana is 5,000 years old.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
They
They-
do,
yeah.
She's
actually.
had time to research this.
Mm-hmm. It's
Look at this. This
funny
whole
line,
scene.
dude. Do you think she's into younger guys? She's 5,000 years old. Every guy's
Hey.
a younger guy.
I love that scene,
just like
Paul.
Mortal
Thank you
Kombat.
for bringing that up.
That scene is okay. That like the cyborg Flash stuff is so good. I wish they could have had their movie. Oh
The thing that I
no,
loved
just show
actually,
that. Just show that action. Just show that sequence.
Oh, the
Yeah.
the
We'll-
war, the
we'll
fight,
talk-
the
we'll talk
battle
about
here.
I
Hold on.
love that part.
We'll do our 500
The
most
Lord of the
important
Rings
movies.
scene
Yeah.
right here.
The
I
battle for
fucking
the 500.
love this battle.
I'm just gonna let this play while we finish up.
Exactly.
them making what's the best way to put that?
All the kingdoms.
Them making Barry Allen as clumsy as he was awesome.
Yeah.
He's less clumsy in this version. Like in the Whedon cut, every single time he runs, he trips and falls.
But
Every single time. In this one, it's only like because he gets hit by a bolt, he falls.
Mhm.
Because he missteps when he's recharging the pool.
Like,
I
look
will
at the
say-
intimidation
Motivations.
of Darkseid right here. The intimidation factor alone.
Mhm.
I want to point
When
out
you
one
make an
thing.
entrance.
The CG, some scenes, okay, yeah, mass groups, mass armies, but like that close up of his hand digging through the sand, I was like, thank you for spending 70 million on the finishing of this shit, because when they cut it, we heard from Zack Snyder and others that things they filmed weren't finished CGI wise, like the computer finished touch on a lot of the animation wasn't finished. This right here, that guy does not look like a low budget Steppenwolf in the Whedon cut. That looks like,
Yeah.
okay, we spent a little extra money and actually made the CG worth looking at. And we got those three guys running the mother boxes. We got Darkseid here. Everything looks so flipping 4K crisp in this
Yeah.
cut with the CG
Dude,
and
I need a
shit.
4K TV just for this movie.
I know.
Yeah.
And
I almost bought one the
I'm
other day.
definitely gonna rewatch it once I get like a big old freaking like 50 inch or something.
dude,
I
so
almost bought a
let's
50 inch the other day.
hey, let's take it to this point. let's that'll keep I'll cut back and forth as we wrap up. But like, I think this might be a good spot. We're over 3 hours for a podcast, dude. Like, we could go further with comic lore comparisons, back and forth. So we could do a lot more. But as we're talking about this, here's an epic scene of freaking. Hold on. Let me retrace back right there. We got a little too far. Hold on. We got like 300 cut coming up here in a second. It's like, wait a minute. Gerard Butler? What?
That's exactly how I felt about it. I was like, this reminds me of 300.
I'm like,
there's that
Zach.
moment in the where they're in the Amazon, where they're holding the mother box, and he's like, "I'm here for your fear," and she's just like, "Amazonians, what do you fear?" In my head, I went, "Oh, oh, oh," because it was the same exact energy.
It was perfect,
dude. Right there, like
there he is. Zeus.
They're showing us the different kingdoms. There's the lantern.
Like, they did a bastardized version of this in the Whedon cut, and it's my favorite part of that one.
Well, here on a side note, Paul, just to add to what you just said, in the Snyder cut, it's like what was weird about that is like Cyborg and Wonder Woman randomly meet up. There's really no context for it. They meet up in the street, and then her narration to Cyborg is like, here's the old gods and new gods storyline. And it's like, why was that slapped in here? But then when
cool not to show.
But yeah, then when Diana meets up with Bruce Wayne, and then she's very in full context telling him about what we're up against, I was like, that was perfect.
This is where he tries to grab the ring too.
Yeah, there goes the ring. Oh.
He sees it.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, okay, I did see that part. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
He got thrown off by the arrow. That it pushed him back, and he's like, "What?" He missed it. Yeah, that was cool, dude.
This is a good place to end it on, because I think all of us were very pleased with it. I'm happy that it came out. There's very few movies that I look forward to that actually live up to the hype. And this is one of those movies. This movie was exactly as good as I wanted it to be, and exactly as good as I was expecting it to be.
Dude.
The next one I think we should do the full treatment to, like this, will be in a few weeks when we cover Godzilla versus King Kong.
And then Mortal Kombat.
Kombat. That one looks cool too. And you know what?
That looks so good.
As long as like the big pop culture films are coming to streaming while we can't go see them in theaters, we need to all keep reconvening for these kind of discussions, because this is great, and I know all of you guys are fans of the shit that's coming out. Definitely,
you should honestly, these long ones, you should call. This is like a new series, basically just the Nerdentials cuts. Like,
as far as like the uncut 3 hour here. Yeah.
Or no, just like the name of, like, when we do these deep dives, you could call them the Nerdential cuts.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now, with Mortal Kombat, I know that lore like the back of my hand. So.
And I don't.
That's gonna be fun.
I don't. So
I know the movies.
But can it be a good Mortal Kombat movie without Christopher Lambert as Raiden?
It's not just Christopher Lambert as Raiden.
Hey, whoa!
But
hey,
also Shang Tsung.
Guys,
Shang Tsung cannot be replaced.
Is mine.
Wrapping up.
Wrapping up the boys.
Said episode. No, we'll
we
wrap
talked
that
a lot
up
about
another
those
time.
two, but what I would like to see in Mortal Kombat is some Quan Chi.
Yeah,
we haven't seen Quan Chi.
It's true.
All I'm saying, guys, is there's a lot of love, passion, and energy for these upcoming films and franchises in general. Final thoughts. Is there any little snippet, last bit, like something we hope in the future for this kind of fandom? The fact that a poll of angry fans managed to inspire a stupid corporation to be like, all right, I guess we should throw $70 million out the door and make it happen. They wouldn't have done that. They wouldn't have done that unless they thought they could get something out of it. Yeah. And whether they're happy or not, what are your guys' final thoughts on the future of this kind of fandom? Who wants to talk?
I'll go. I got a short one.
All right.
And it's not short like my last one was short.
It's all good. Go ahead.
I think that just the fan outcry of this demanding the Snyder Cut, it's a lot similar to how the whole Sonic movie happened when they wanted that redesign.
Yeah.
It's getting to the point where they're going to need to start listening to the fans, or they're not going to make any money. And big execs are going to have to start noticing that. It's like, yeah, you can pander to the people that would normally bitch about certain things, but those aren't the people that watch your movie, that go to your movie, that pay for your movie. So I think that this is going to be a big sign for future movies that, hey, listen to your audience
Before spending the money.
Yeah, this is what they want. Pay attention. Immerse yourself in the culture if you have to. Figure it out before you start trying to make things happen in a certain way. And then, granted, I understand the situation with Whedon and with Snyder and everything that happened. I get that, but listen to the fans. That's ultimately what I think is going to be learned from this movie. And to everyone that hasn't seen it, watch it.
Yep. My takeaway and last thoughts on this is compounded on yours. This is directed directly at you, WB, and your shenanigans. Listen to the damn fans. We want more Snyderverse. There's a reason why this was so epic and people are so excited about it. There's a reason why people were behind getting this pushed out. This is what your fans want. Stop riding your soapbox and just let it happen.
Paul, Tyler.
Tyler, go ahead, bud.
All right. Yeah, I personally really like how it ended and the takeaway and everything. I think how it is going to be going forward, it's going to be, I really would like to see almost like not necessarily the movie like that long, but almost like that movie that detailed brought out in episodes, like how there were so many parts. It would be really cool to see future things coming out, like an episode, like a good hour, 2 hour, or like hour and a half, even anywhere in that realm of like a good 1 part, 2 part, and then like every couple of weeks or once a month, even if it's just one good solid thing. But I think it's going to end up being a big turning point for DC, considering they like the whole series, like mixing with the movie verse is starting to get popular again. And it wasn't right when like Shield was trying to do it, and now it's starting to again because of the pandemic. It's all right there for you, all on a list. You can watch it at your pace.
Right. Paul.
Final takeaways, man. I love the movie. Like I said, it met my expectations, which is even better than exceeding expectations. And I'm happy it was released. I'm glad that they decided to listen to the fans on this one. To me, this is an example of where it actually ended up being an okay thing that they listened to the fans. Like not like a Rise of Skywalker type thing where they listened to the wrong fans and it became that. But I do want to say though also is that because they gave us this movie and like we said, they used the 70 million because they finished up the stuff that was already shot. This movie was basically already done, and then they did them wrong, man. Like they used the opportunity to do what they wanted to do. And it's not cool. And it shows that he truly had a vision. So this movie is vindication, at least as far as I see it. Maybe not for them personally, but as far as I see it, this is kind of like vindication for Zack Snyder, for Chris Terrio, for Ray Fisher. This is some justice for Ray Fisher that we get to see this amazing performance that he put in. He doesn't get to be just left on the sidelines. This is some justice for these people who put their heart and soul into something and just kind of, farted out for whatever reason, So it was good to see that.
Yeah, dude. In conclusion, I just want to say, like, I echo the thoughts of everyone here. In the digital round table of nerdom, fandom, passions, creativity. There's nothing else to add right now. I've spoke my mind earlier on, and can only echo everything that all of you guys said. It's awesome. Like, I'm always about diversity and difference of opinions. I think I think a record-setting situation here for Nerdentials, all of us are relatively on the same page as far as.
I think we're all like on the exact same page. I mean, the scores range
That's what I'm saying.
from 8.5 to 10. This is unanimous, bro. This is universal acclaim from
This is a 9+, a 9+ from everyone here. If you take all the averages, absolutely, dude. I agree with that. I do want to quickly. Don't know who will make it to this point. I will make it slightly shorter for YouTube, but I absolutely want to do that whole Patreon raw cut shit, and I think we'll do that for sure, including no bleeps. I ain't bleeping out shit on our Patreon, because if you're paying to see this, you get to hear it in the raw, dude. Like, I'm down with that. But for
in
YouTube,
the raw, bareback.
in the raw, bareback. Let's just do this. I just want to close out for our YouTube sake. We'll do shout outs and the regular closeout, okay? So, guys, I'm going to just throw around the table. I would like to thank everyone for sticking around and watching. This has been our first super deep on a film in a long time, and this one was a spectacular, unique situation for the type of film it was. Real quick, me and Nick are part of the core host right now, and I would like to throw Ryan in there too, because he is trying to be a regular part of our hosting, and minus Matthew, we make up Nerdentials Media, and as far as the podcast goes, our Nerdentials podcast. But that being said, Ryan does something on the side. Ryan, real quick, I'm going to pass off to you. Shout out anything you want to plug at the end of this episode, sir.
Well, if you're interested in live content, I go live pretty regularly on Twitch. I've been kind of on a small vacation this month, but I will be going back to the regular programming as soon as next month starts. You can find me there as Kuhn Cannon, KUHNCANNON, just like it says right there.
Right there.
You can find me under the same name on YouTube for my Let's Plays. You can find me on Instagram under the same name, and my Twitter.
And shameless plug for him. He just did a stream that had the bear with the hat.
Bear, vodka, Stalingrad. And also on TikTok under Kuhn Cannon. You can find me under everything. Same brand across the board. I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. And for some reason, they're speaking Vietnamese.
Oh, I love the rhyme. Thank you for that. Paul, I'm going to throw you up here. Shout out your stuff.
All right. If you want to hear me talk nerdy about stuff like this passionately, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Scary Good Movies. It's down here it's down right here. Scary Good
Right
Movies.
Right there.
Hey Joe, what's it called?
Scary Good Movies.
Hey, he did it. And also, if you like live content, I play retro games on Twitch every once in a while, usually on the weekends. I call them my SNES sessions. We get stoned and play. It's just me. And
anyone that wants to join you.
Yeah, I get stoned and I play Super Nintendo games. It's fun for me. And then I have a thing coming out that I'm kind of talking about. There's a Scottish streamer called Your Boy Dazza, and I've been following him for a while, and him and I have been chit-chatting, and when he reaches 3,000 followers, I'm going to do a live script reading with him of a movie that I'm not allowed to say. But yeah, when he reaches 3,000 followers, follow him. It's Your Boy Dazza, YERBOIDAZZA. Follow him.
Link in the description on this episode, guys.
Boom. And then follow him, get us to 3,000, and then watch me read a movie script with a Scottish dude.
Right on, dude. Anything else, Paul?
If you want to follow me on TikTok, it's RabbitCow420.
Rabbit
Links
cow,
in the
420.
description.
Yeah,
Like
RabbitCow420.
rabbit or rabid?
RABID, Rabbit.
I will find you.
RabbitCow420. Yes, Kuhn Cannon.
All right. And while fresh to the content scene, I want to shout out Tyler. Sir, you want to plug what you're starting up, even though it's fresh?
Yeah, it's just starting up. I just got my Facebook going, and I'm going to have my first YouTube video hopefully tomorrow. I was hoping to have it today, but again, Justice League, Snyder Cut, long effing movie. But if you ever want to see me do my reviews or opinions on new D&D books such as Candlekeep, which just came out, or open things like these miniatures and show you the entire set from the collection,
Nice.
I'm going to have something like that for later this week.
Right on, dude.
Have plenty of different things soon.
And everyone that's been on tonight, all the links will be down below in the description of this YouTube video. Guys, if that's all you want to plug, me and Nick, we host the main Nerdentials thing. I will say this, Nick, I'm plugging this. We are currently fully active with reviews for TV, film, video games, you name it, podcasts, videocasts, and everyone here is also promoted all in one place. If you guys just go to nerdentialsmedia.com. Thank you, Nicholas. That there will have a link to all these guys. If you missed out on the links below on our YouTube channel, or while you're exploring this video on our main page, these guys will all be on that page as well. Click on all the links, go support, show love to whatever fandom you guys have. So that being said, guys, that's going to do it for today. For myself, Nick, Tyler, Paul, and Ryan. I got it all. Nerds, this has been your Nerdy Essentials, and as always, we'll see you
on the other side.
The other side. On the left or right, somewhere. Somewhere.
On the other side.
I had no chaser for that.
No Vaseline.